Utica Royalties. So there's a lot of information out there about this program. I mean, anyone could get involved. We're always looking for volunteers to come and help in the programs. And we're actually having a fundraiser coming up in March 9th.
Okay.
For the youth, because we need more funding to continue our programs for the summer. We're all set for the winter, but we're looking for funding for the summer.
Well, we'll revisit this again as we get closer to that.
Yeah, you have my number now, so reach out to me anytime.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Hala. Great hearing your story. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Have a great day. We take so much for granted, right? And
100%.
But it's very interesting to see how the process was followed then. Yet still, she looks at what's happening on the southern border and is unwilling to pass any judgment because she doesn't understand what's going on there. I'm not sure the rest of us really understand, except there's a right way and a wrong way of entering the nation.
Looking for top-notch personal protection? The Smith & Wesson Equalizer is here to level the playing field. Easy-to-rack slide, easy-to-control ergonomic grip. It's designed for you. With a 10, 13, and 15-round magazine included, size up for better control or size down for easier concealment. Don't miss out on the opportunity to upgrade your safety. Visit your local dealer now. To learn more about the Equalizer, visit smith-wesson.com. Smith & Wesson, empowering Americans. All capacity sizes may not be available in your jurisdiction. Be sure to check your local laws and regulations.
Ready for a smoother, safer ride? Look to Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your trusted tire experts. Tallman's and their professional staff is there for answers, advice, and quality tires at a great price. And right now, Tallman's, when you purchase 4 Summit tires, you'll get installation, mounting, and balancing absolutely free. Summit tires are great quality and your best value in Central New York. And free installation when you purchase 4 tires is an amazing deal. Don't miss out. This offer ends January 31st, 2024. Visit Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Roman Herkimer. Online at tallmanstire.com.
We all make resolutions this time of year, and let's face it, most of them won't stick. But here's one that's not only easy to keep, but'll help you feel healthier all year long. Navage. Navage provides quick, drug-free nasal relief by washing saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril. This time of year, when everyone is sick, Navage helps by sucking out germs, bacteria, and viruses trapped in our noses that cause us to feel miserable. And come allergy season, it does the same with dust, pollen, and other allergens. And unlike medications that can take time to help, if they're effective at all, Navage helps treat congestion symptoms in seconds flat, without drugs. This New Year's, resolve to use drug-free Navage to help you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all year long. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Cliff's Local Market is proud to be your convenience store that keeps you going. We are locally owned and operated by Clifford Fuel, and we're proud to offer local products like Utica coffee with fresh brewed dark Adirondack, along with a seasonal flavor. At Cliff's, you can find Dippin' Donuts, sauce from It's a Utica Thing, and cheeses from River Rat and Grassy Cow. Cliff's Local Market has your favorite pizza made fresh all day with dough from Utica, made to order subs, wraps, and salads, and other healthy local choices. Cliff's Local Market, we keep you going.
Oneida County Department of Family and Community Services has immediate openings for program nurses, starting at over $59,000. Nurses work a 35-hour work week, conducting patient screenings and home health assessments. And the civil service exam fee is waived for 2024. Apply today at OneidaCountyJobs.com.
She's running around, her breath doesn't smell, her digestive system is perfect. It has made such a huge difference.
What did this dog parent do for their dog? She switched to Nature's Blend, a premium freeze-dried raw dog food made by Dr. Marty Goldstein, a veterinarian Forbes magazine called the Miracle Worker. It's the easiest way to support your dog's easy digestion, nourished skin, playful energy, and most importantly, their healthy, full life.
I'm so confident your dog will love it. Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee.
Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free full-sized bag of Tilly's Treasures dog treats. They're best-selling beef liver dog treats while supplies last. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or shop in over 2,000 stores nationwide. Use the store locator to find the store closest to you. All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply. Studies available upon request.
Keeler Show today. It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started. It's time to get things started. On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Just when it looked like all the snow was going to be gone, and it was gone, yesterday it started snowing. We had that wet snow, and it just kept coming down. And while there's not a ton out there, there's snow out there.
Yeah, it was like a heavy, thick.
Big flakes.
Weird. Yeah, it was.
And it accumulated.
Yeah, we only got, what did we get, like 2 inches? But
not much.
You're slapping around out there.
But
it seemed like a lot more, yeah.
Andrew's off all week, so we'll have guest hosts in here this morning, and one of them here this morning is Jeff Banaski.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It feels so good to be back after almost 2 weeks away.
Just when you got out, they sucked you back in.
Can I tell you about the last time I was here? First of all, I came in a little flat. I did feel it was probably the worst show in 21 years I'd ever done.
I was going to have that conversation with you, but I had memories of one we had many years ago. So.
Yeah, it was a little flat last time.
I don't think that's the case at all. But
So can I tell you that the last time I was here, I think these were the headphones. Smitty, can you confirm these were the headphones? Now, I don't know this for sure, and everybody has their own theory. But within 24 hours of my last guest hosting appearance, I came down with a double ear infection, and I haven't been able to hear since. Not kidding. Yeah. And I'm convinced.
And do you think it's those headphones?
Yes, and I want to explain here because I said this to a couple of folks at work, and they kind of went like they made the face like.
Well, most people don't understand when you wear in this business. There is like if I total the hours, forget all the stuff you do after you get off the air, just the time that you're on the air. So you take 3 hours. That's 15 hours a week. You're wearing headphones.
Yeah, absolutely. And people think it's kind of like. Oh, well, whoever wore them before must be dirty or something. It's not like that. I think it's but someone else's bacteria interacting with your bacteria, and sometimes it doesn't work out well. And it was known to me that like almost every year, I would get an ear infection because you throw on someone else's headphones.
So you think maybe it was the headphones?
I think so. I mean, I'm 40 years old. That's kind of old to be getting ear infections, right? A double ear infection?
Not necessarily.
My mom went to urgent care on Saturday.
Yeah.
She's got double ear infection.
Well, whose headphones she been wearing?
Nobody's.
Yeah, but, they won't allow which insurance? Oh, she went to urgent care? Which one? Now?
She went to the med to go over in Whitesboro.
So she's
it's
okay.
a new thing over there.
Yeah, she's all right.
Yeah.
So, and which nobody uses my headphones.
Correct.
I don't, and it's not even I just don't want anybody using my headphones. So you always get your own. But I remember when I first started out in this business, you just used the headphones that were in the studio. But I quickly learned I'll get my own, and I'm a nut about them.
Now, the argument for that it wasn't the headphones, let me just say this, is because a couple of people have told me, I just had a double ear infection, and I'm shocked to hear you say your mother had an ear infection. Maybe that's a thing that's going around. Is that COVID 2.5, 0.6, 0.3, 0.2, 0.1?
I don't know, but I had the other one, and I've been and I was talking to somebody yesterday down at Waterfront Grill at the event, the big tailgate party.
Oh, that was yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Oh.
And she also has had COVID at Christmas time, and she has been sick since then with just massive fatigue. Like, it's brutal. Like, it's such a difference. A lot of times you wonder, right? Like, it's anecdotal, so you're like, well, was I going to get this anyway? Like your ear infection.
Yeah.
But when you have COVID then the symptoms are fatigue, and then it doesn't go away, it's like a line has been drawn. I can totally blame COVID for that because it's not coincidental.
Yeah.
It's brutal. Like last night, I'm telling you, last night, I went to bed at 7:30. I don't ever even come close to something like that. I'm normally at 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock, get up at 5, and just keep going at it. Last night, it was like 7:30.
I went to bed at 7:45 last night, and then I woke up at 10 o'clock with awful acid reflux.
Oh.
I think I know what it was from.
Welcome to the What's Your Ailment segment.
You know what it was from. It was from the chili that I enjoyed down the Rockies at the waterfront on Sunday.
That was good
yesterday.
chili. And they had a whole bunch of prizes. They raised money. We'll talk to Mark Butler. And there's actually KTV covered it, so there's a story there. As WIBX sponsored, along with former Assemblyman Mark Butler and the Waterfront Grill, Rocky and Barb Fiato, and their annual tailgate party. And this year it benefited the Herkimer County Humane Society. MOVAC, which is something we should get into. The disappearance of rural ambulance services become a real big thing. And you think about it, so if you live in a rural area, it might be 40 minutes for a fire truck or an ambulance to get to you.
That's outrageous.
It's just the way it is in the country.
Yeah, can we talk more about that? I mean,
that's a big, and think about it. Insurance companies know all about it because they'll charge you more for your homeowner's insurance.
What's the reason that they've lost service?
Well, a lot of them just have with new regulations, ambulance service especially, and for me, where I grew up, which was over on Vickerman Hill. The fire service was either out of Mohawk, which was up Vickerman Hill, so about 3 miles away, out of Richfield, which is about 5 miles away, or about 7 miles away to Cedarville. Okay. And all volunteer fire departments. Ours was really Cedarville. So by the time everybody got to the station, and then they hit the road, and then they get to your place, you're talking about 20 minutes to half an hour, or maybe even longer. So by then, what's happened to your house? You better have a hose. Anyway, MOVAC, Herkimer County Humane Society, and the Hunger Coalition with the 3 charities that money will be given to. They had a full crowd down there, Davey, right? Everybody anticipating the Chiefs to get beat. And, boy, that didn't happen.
It's
even
one of those,
I made an appearance.
Davey was there, yes.
It's one of those things where on paper, Baltimore's clearly the better team, but Mahomes and Reed just seem to keep finding a way.
Yeah. And even there were a couple of catches by Kelsey that were just unbelievable catches.
Yeah, they're
so you gotta, and the looks from Taylor Swift and the claps and the cheers, that just made it all happen.
I've got the first NFL prop bet right here.
Okay,
Super Bowl prop bet. Now I didn't see this. I will
How about
tell
she'll
you,
be at the Super Bowl but not performing?
I know. Well, maybe she will be.
You never know.
So Smitty mentioned this to me, and I can just tell you personally, and this doesn't mean anything. I'll just tell you why I missed it. I was watching the game, and it was kind of one of those cool days, and you knew the snow was coming. So I'm like snuggled up in bed with my dog watching the first half of the game. So it goes, what was it, 14-7, 17-7 at the half?
14-7 at the half, and almost no scoring in the second half.
And I doze off.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up, it's 21-7 Detroit. I missed the first half of that game, too. But you said there was some dramatic kiss on screen with Kelsey and Swift?
Yeah.
That was after the game, right?
Yeah, won the celebration on the field.
Somehow she got down onto the field.
Somehow?
If you're
She's Taylor
Taylor
Swift.
you can do whatever the heck you want.
It must have been pretty good security.
Who wants to be the security guard who gets fired for not letting her on the field?
You're right.
Listen, what's the odds that if they win, Kelsey proposes on screen during the post game?
Wow.
Isn't that's happened in a few college football national championship games?
Yep.
I mean, they're a little old for that. Obviously, that's a college game. But,
yeah. Well, listen, anything.
I'm taking that prop if it's available.
There are those that think the relationship isn't even going to last, but they seem pretty happy. What a season the two of them have had, though.
I know.
It's really like that, right?
It's unbelievable.
Here's a little audio on the upcoming, here we go, the upcoming Super Bowl. Here's a little audio.
The Chiefs are still the Chiefs, and believe it, you got to fight for your right to party!
And there it is. The 49ers are going to the Super Bowl.
They'll play, of course, the 49. It'll be the 49ers and the Chiefs. That was Travis Kelce, by the way, doing all the screaming there.
He was good on the mic there.
He was very good.
What about the Detroit collapse? Good. Boy.
Yeah.
I was shocked when I woke up. It was 21-7. And would they get a field goal before the half? Made it 24-7.
3 points at the end, and that was it. That was it. I mean, they could have. It was one of those where they could have accomplished something.
He should have, Campbell should have, there was 4th and 2 at the, 15, 18, 20-yard line? They should have taken the field goal. They went for it. They didn't get it. Then San Francisco went down and made it a 10-point game. They would have tied the game. They got a touchdown at the end. I feel like he's really got to regret not going for the field goal there. They did say it was, he was Mr. Go for it on 4th down all season long, but
it does
in
look
hindsight,
well, it's interesting. I mean, they were way up, right? They were up 24-7.
Yeah, 17 points, 3 scores.
And then the 49ers scored 17 in the third
to tie.
Another 10 in the fourth, and the Lions were able to pull out a touchdown. So 34-31, they lose by 3 points.
If Detroit had won the game or held the lead and found a way to win, the Super Bowl would have been a rematch of what I said was the dumbest opening day game I'd ever heard of in my life. This season opened Detroit and Kansas City.
Yeah.
And you remember the whole kerfuffle over that because Richard was saying I didn't do my due diligence and I didn't know what I was talking about. I still think it was an odd matchup even to this day.
By the way,
but it would have been first game, last game.
Richard's predictions were way off this year, but you know what? So was everybody's.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no way to predict anything. And by the way, how about almost all of the scoring in that Kansas City Chiefs game came in the first half? Only a field goal by the Ravens in the fourth quarter.
I dozed off, and it was a nice little nap I took, but I wish I got to see because I'm surprised Baltimore couldn't move the ball at all. I was really that they couldn't put more points on the board. Were they missing field goals? Was he throwing interceptions? How did they not score?
I didn't watch any of it.
Yeah. Anyway, so it will be Kansas City Chiefs and Taylor Swift against the San Francisco 49ers coming up. Let me talk a little bit about this weather, if we could. Bring in meteorologist Craig Flint from Eyewitness News. Good morning, Craig. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, you had it spot on. We warmed up. All the snow, at least in the valleys, the valley, all the snow gone. And then yesterday hit, and all this wet, thick snow seemed to fall. And what is the rest of the week going to bring us?
You know what? We kind of calmed down here the rest of the week. Several weak little disturbances coming up as we go into like Wednesday night into Thursday, and then later Friday into the weekend. But until then, really not much. It's kind of like Goldilocks weather. It's not too warm, not too cold, pretty close to where we should be. It will turn a little bit warmer on Thursday, which February 1st, by the way, already on Thursday, so 1 month down here in the new year. This week, pretty quiet. I am watching another blast of cold, though, as we go into this coming weekend with another shot of Arctic air that looks to dive south for probably, I'd say 3 or 4 days starting Saturday.
How cold?
So how cold are we talking?
We're probably going to be averaging near 20 by day, so that would mean single digits at night. So we'll see what the sky conditions do. If we clear out, we could be below zero. Still a few days out.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now. I mean, I can't speak for anyone else, but I am just about over this cloud cover.
Oh, my God. It is. Not only has it been cloud cover, but you had fog to it. It has been like if you have to have lights on in your house during the daytime. And it's just, I hate to use the word depressing.
Morning, W.
It is depressing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It's like the London fog or whatever.
Yeah. It has been brutal. Really, really bad. Now, I want to take you back to 2007. Because I had people yesterday, we were at the big tailgate party at Waterfront Grill, saying, boy, this winter, we got so lucky. And I'm like, how could you do that? You just jinxed us. Now, I want to go back to 2007. It seemed like that year we had mild conditions. January was mild. Temperature, it was just no snow. And then all of a sudden we get hit with, call it a blizzard, call it a big snowstorm, whatever it was on Valentine's Day. And then it seemed to snow and blow and be cold for almost 2 months after that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's going to be the case this year, but anything's possible. I remember that as a college student in northern Vermont, northern New England. Big storm. That one was that was pretty crazy. I'm just recalling now some of the snowbanks. I don't know if that's going to be the case this year. I don't. As we go into at least the first couple of weeks of February, I don't see anything that's really kind of brewing like that.
All
but
right.
Things could change for sure. But yeah, we'll get cold this weekend, and then we might even turn a little bit milder going into the first couple of weeks of February. That's going to kind of how it goes. It's going to be kind of how it goes the rest of this winter, I think.
Well,
but like you, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, this is that is it La Nina?
El Nino.
El Nino.
The little boy. Yeah.
It's kind of what
Has he decided what he is?
Right. It's kind of like what you predicted. Really, this kind of roller coaster of up and down all winter long. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's like textbook El Nino. This is exactly how, like, if you were studying meteorology in school or if you looked it up, this is exactly the definition of an El Nino winter. Right. And just to your point about 2007, there are several instances of El Nino winters that produce I don't know, I won't say several, but there are a few that stand out with a lot of snow. And, people just have, I find it all the time, people just have very short memories when it comes to weather.
Yes.
Like I hear it all the time. I've never seen it like this before. I'm like, yeah, you have.
Right. It's kind of like childbirth. They say women always forget about the pain. So, well, here we are. We forget about the pain. All right. So a relatively non-eventful week for the most part this week.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty quiet this week. We'll watch a couple of week systems coming up later this week, Thursday, and then again late Friday, and then maybe a little bit of lake effect snow with the cold air.
All right. Good stuff. Craig Flint, meteorologist, Eyewitness News. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Take care. Have a good week.
You do the same. I want to switch to Fox News Radio's Ryan Schmelz. Ryan, good morning.
It's not a good morning at all.
I know. Let's talk about it. Let's get it out of the way.
Oh, who's this team?
Ravens.
Oh, Baltimore.
Yeah. Listen.
How did you not score?
My family members, I did have some family members go viral, though, for shotgunning a beer with the governor of Maryland. So there was at least that.
Oh,
that's great. Well, that is something to be thankful for, right?
Well, at least we'll have something to remember this game by, not the unbelievably depressing atmosphere after the game. I'll tell you what, it was insane. I mean, you could not move in any of the parking lots. You could not move at any of the bars that were downtown. It was crazy, and it's just unfortunate that the team laid a duck like that.
Yeah, I mean, especially the problem is, and believe me, you have to understand, I am a Bills fan, and so I feel your pain. And then, this Mahomes, I've just seen too much of him, way too much of him. And you add Taylor Swift to the mix. I do say I like Kelce. I mean, that guy is just unbelievable.
I don't think he's going to be liked in our territory.
No, certainly not. He made some amazing catches. And
he did. No, that's the annoying part is that he was talking all that trash before the game, and then he actually backed it up. That's what stinks about the whole thing.
And then here's the part, though, that really stinks, is a game like this that is so reachable, and you were so unscorable, it seemed, both teams in the second half. It's just one you let get away, and it just crushes you even more.
Play calling was suspect at best, and just all these issues that we didn't have for the last couple of weeks all of a sudden started to come up again, and that's what's the painful thing, I think.
Yeah. Well, I'm with you. So here we go. 49ers and Chiefs. Oh boy, just terrible.
Oh boy.
Let's talk about. Let's change gears, change topics, switch gears. Democratic senator says National Security Agency is buying our internet data without warrants. What's going on here?
Right. So you have Senator Ron Wyden from Oregon, who has been claiming that the NSA has been buying Americans' internet browsing data without a warrant, like you just said, and he believes that's unlawful. Now, the NSA has responded and said that the information has significant value for national security and cybersecurity missions and is used sparingly. But I don't think that's going to be enough for the Ron Wyden to stop his crusade here.
Because we're not talking about specific Jeff Manaski's data, and they're matching the name to the data. We're really talking about data in general, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And so what Wyden wants to do, or he wants the NSA to do, is that he wants them to essentially establish an inventory of all the browsing data they've been collecting. He then wants them to kind of go through and see if they match, certain privacy standards. And if they don't, he wants it deleted immediately from that inventory.
This doesn't really surprise me that much. I think if we all thought about it, we'd know this was really going on. The legality is the issue, and that's such a vague answer. If the NSA's response is, well, we're buying it for national security interests. Well, guess what? I could go check your car, and if I know there's no guns or weapons or drugs inside, I think it's a very safe place. But I need a reason to check your car. You know what I mean?
I've always had this feeling that, and let's go back to 20, 30 years ago when we all had landline phones. I always was under the belief, don't say anything because the government's always listening, not specifically to your home, but to everything. To the minute all of a sudden certain keywords pop up, it triggers something. Now, I don't know if that's true, but we always thought it was. And I think people just accepted the fact that the government was always listening.
Yeah. And I think Wyden, too, has kind of been on a crusade about this for some time. Back when they were trying to confirm the current NSA director, he actually held up that confirmation over some of these practices. And, I believe right after he got a commitment that these would be looked at, then he ultimately lifted that hold and allowed the current NSA director to be confirmed. So he's starting to get some of these answers, and those answers are not what he's wanting, or at least are confirming some of the fears that he had initially, and that's why he's asking for action to be taken, and I would only assume this is going to be something that is bipartisan.
Yeah. All right, very interesting. Again, I'm with Manaski here. I'm not sure I'm completely surprised that we're getting all this. And you know what? When we're closer to a 9/11, we're all very okay with it. But as time goes on, we're like, hey, this is my privacy. You can't have this.
Yep. And government surveillance has been something that has been widely debated amongst Congress for some time, and it's something that kind of divides different parties. There are plenty of Republicans who have probably similar concerns to what Wyden has, and there's some Democrats who might align with some other Republicans who would think that maybe some of these practices are necessary.
And then you go back and you look at the stuff that came out post-Nixon, and we learned what the FBI was, they were surveilling every possible enemy to the White House. I mean, or maybe any enemy to the FBI. So this is stuff that was going on and back then, and it was being used really for nefarious reasons, or at least reasons that benefited the current administration. So interesting, something to look at, no doubt.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, there's always next year, right, Ryan?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We'll see.
All right, man. Good talking to you. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. See you later. Bye.
We had a huge weekend of everything going on in the Utica Rome area. So we had Pioneers hockey this weekend. We had Comets hockey. Comets with a big win on Saturday. We had Utica City FC. They scored, I think, 3 goals in 90 seconds yesterday to win. Yeah, so they had a big win. We had Leon Etienne was at the Stanley Theater to a full house. There was an enormous, very, very secretive party at the Turning Stone on Saturday, and it was for Wynn Hospital. So it turns out Saturday was Steve Wynn's birthday. So everybody that was instrumental in putting the hospital together was invited to this, and it was a fundraiser. And I'm pretty sure I actually have the numbers. Do you want to know the sponsorships for this event? I have the numbers.
Oh, boy. Wait. Before we go on, a fundraiser for the hospital?
Fundraiser for the hospital.
Well, they
and
still don't have enough money?
You know that there's money that believe me, there is money needed, and I believe there will be more money needed as time goes on. So they're holding a fundraiser, and it was Saturday. The Wynn Hospital Gala is what it was called. And I have more news on this. If you didn't know this was going on, I'm going to blow your mind. If you knew, you're like, yep, I totally know. So the sponsorships, a table sponsorship was $10,000. A healthcare hero sponsorship, next level, was $25,000. A cocktail sponsor was $50,000. And a premier sponsorship was $100,000. So we're talking big money at this party. Big, big, big.
What did they raise?
So I don't know what they raised, but I can tell you this. Steve Wynn made a lot of this happen, of course. And one of Steve Wynn's close friends performed at the event. And I have heard from people who were there. It was just an amazing performance. And his wife was there. Who's his wife? Is it Trisha Yearwood?
Oh, Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks' wife.
Well, he calls her Miss Yearwood. Trisha Yearwood is his wife.
Garth Brooks performed. And it was from what I'm told, it was Garth Brooks with a guitar and a microphone, no backup or anything like that, and it was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, it was huge. And they had the pre-party, they had the dinner, they had the post-party, the show. I mean, it was an amazing weekend at the Turning Stone. And there was a buzz around. People were all talking about it. But no one really knew anything. No one knew anything. So here's a story that Steve Wynn told. So Steve Wynn apparently was Steve Wynn and Garth Brooks apparently are very close friends.
Okay.
So how did that happen? At some point, Garth Brooks was at the peak of his career and everything was going well. And he was enormous, and he just stopped performing. And it's very similar to your reasoning for saying, I want to do something else. I'm not going to work at IBX anymore because you have a kid. And he had kids. And he said, I want to be a father to my kids. I want to be able to take them to soccer practice. I want to pick them up from school. So I'm done performing. So Steve Wynn called. This is the story that both of them told. And I'm getting it secondhand, so maybe I get something wrong, but I think I'm pretty accurate. So Steve Wynn called up Garth Brooks and said, what are you doing? And he said, I'm done. I'm going to take a break till the kids grow up. I'm not going to perform anymore. So Brooks had said, yeah, I was about to give up. It would have been life-changing for him because I was about to give up probably 18 years of my career, and then I would go back after the kids grew up and graduated and all of that. So Steve Wynn said, well, why don't you just do like a residency out here at one of my casinos here in Vegas and, just do it every once in a while. No, I'm telling you, I need to be there with my kids. I want to be picking them up after school. And Steve Wynn said, I'll buy you a jet. And you perform 3 times a week. And you drop your kids off from school, go right to your private jet, fly into Vegas, perform the show, fly home, and you'll be there with your kids.
Wow.
And after contemplation, and then I'm assuming a large amount of money was talked about.
Sure.
Garth Brooks agreed, and that's how the residency came to be in Vegas. And those are really the only shows he was doing.
Wow.
And yes, he was able to drop his kids off and pick his kids up from school. He was able to be a dad and still perform. And it created a very cool bond between Steve Wynn and Garth Brooks. That's a pretty cool story, right?
It is. It is. I still don't. What do they need so much money for up at the hospital?
Well, I think that there will always be that need. I'm not sure hospitals are big money makers. So I don't know. I don't know what that money will be used for. That'll be a question that we'll ask. But it's a big deal. I kind of feel like I'm your Steve Wynn this morning. I'm like, listen, I know you want to be there for your kid, but just come in between 6 and 8 this morning, and I'll get you some Carmela's gift cards, and we'll call it a day.
All right. Well, I was going to say we'll talk about the compensation afterward, maybe.
Yeah, I'm no Steve Wynn. That's for darn sure.
Here's my question, and that's an amazing thing.
So you're going to ask these questions. Now, remember, I'm not going to be able to answer. I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
But I do think it's worthy of asking what is the money? What will it be used for? What's the importance of all of that money?
And if we had two hospitals, in other words, we didn't have a new hospital,
yeah.
Would these expenses still be popping up? Would they need to hold fundraisers like this to pay some bill?
I think that
or to pay some vendor?
every hospital has like a foundation, and they're always raising money for certain things. So I don't know any of the answers to this, but it is a question we should dig into and find out. And let's target for tomorrow. Let's find out.
All right.
Because I think there
so
are
I'm
questions.
on tomorrow now, too.
But tomorrow. You want the answer, don't you? I mean,
yes, it's my own fault.
you kind of walk yourself
the answer. We wouldn't have you back.
Right into this whole thing a little bit. Okay, so there's so that went on over the weekend, and then everything else. So it was a busy, stinking weekend in Utica. All right, are you running this, or is Manasseh? You running this, Manasseh?
Here
How
we
are
go,
we doing this? All right, we're going to break. We have news top of the hour. Jeff is in this morning. Who knows where his Steve Wynn, Garth Brooks contribution continues into the week? We'll find out as the week goes on. Coming up next hour, we have a bunch to get to, including Hobica's free money question of the day. We'll do that coming up at WIBX.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
At Mattress Express, get a queen flex head bed with adjustable base and a set of sheets for $14.99. Qualified buyers get no money down and up to 60 months to pay. A flex head bed is where each head goes up and down independently, but it's still one solid mattress. See store for details.
Ready for a smoother, safer ride? Look to Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your trusted tire experts. Tallman's and their professional staff is there for answers, advice, and quality tires at a great price. And right now, Tallman's, when you purchase 4 Summit tires, you'll get installation, mounting, and balancing absolutely free. Summit tires are great quality and your best value in Central New York. And free installation when you purchase 4 tires is an amazing deal. Don't miss out. This offer ends January 31st, 2024. Visit Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Roman Herkimer. Online at tallmanstire.com.
Why get an updated COVID vaccine? If you're 65 or older, a COVID vaccine can keep you out of the hospital. And if you have heart disease, a COVID vaccine can help you stay healthy. With COPD or other lung diseases, getting a COVID vaccine can keep you off a ventilator. Anyone can get severely ill from COVID. But some people are more at risk. Know your risk. And make sure you're up to date on your COVID vaccine. A message from the New York State Health Department.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica, Rome, W295DI Utica, Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Biden vowing to respond after Iran-backed militants attacked a U.S. base in Jordan, killing 3 American troops, injuring dozens more. That's the president leading a moment of silence at a church in South Carolina.
Since October 17th, Iran proxy forces have targeted U.S. troops more than 150 times in Iraq and Syria. Houthi rebels in Yemen are also attacking commercial and U.S. Navy ships in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. The U.S. has fired back with strikes in Iraq, Syria, and Yemen, which defense officials say are done in self-defense. But several Republicans argue the Biden administration's actions have so far failed to deter U.S. adversaries. Senator Lindsey Graham says the U.S. should hit Iran now.
That's Fox's Madeline Rivera. House votes are planned this week to move forward with articles of impeachment for Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas over the record surge of illegal immigration. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik tells Fox
House Republicans are the last line of defense, and we're holding the Biden administration and Joe Biden accountable for the catastrophe at our southern border.
Democrats call it a sham that'll go nowhere in the Senate.
Now, here's the response from DHS to all this. It says, quote, this farce of an impeachment is a distraction from other vital national security priorities and the work Congress should be doing to actually fix our broken immigration laws.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. There's an attempt in the Senate to work out a bipartisan border security plan. The Super Bowl is set. Chiefs versus 49ers. San Francisco got there with a comeback win over Detroit.
We just needed the opportunities. We played as bad of a first half as we could, but we were still within 17. There's plenty of points there you can make up.
49ers coach Kyle Shanahan after a 34-31 NFC Championship game win on Fox. Kansas City punched its Super Bowl ticket, beating Baltimore 17-10.
You don't take it for granted either. You never know how many you're going to get to.
It's Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes' 4th Super Bowl in 5 years, starting to repeat as champs. America's listening to Fox News.
Major phone carriers make you sign contracts with rigid data plans to trap you into a kind of forced phonogamy. Sounds pretty insecure if you ask me. At Consumer Cellular, we believe in a more consensual and healthy form of phonogamy, free of contracts and more flexible to your data needs. This way, you stick around not because we force you to with contracts and fees, but because you love our phone plans. Like ardently love our phone plans. Phonogamously. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Markets are trembling. Don't be a casualty of economic upheaval. Do what I did and embrace the safety of gold. Talk to the experts at Noble Gold Investments today, and you can claim a free 3-ounce silver American Virtue coin. With gold at an all-time high, you need to jump on this. Just use the promo code GOLD. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com now.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Cloudy skies, 29 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski. WIBX News Time is 7:03. This news update is brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive. An internal investigation underway into how a man was able to escape police custody over the weekend. Authorities say Mark Williams was able to get away from officers on Saturday in Oneida. He ended up being captured just a few hours later in the city's downtown area. He was originally taken into custody by police on a court order. No word what additional charges he may be facing. If you're worried about being able to put food on the table, you're invited to attend an event taking place in Utica today. It's a drive-through free food giveaway scheduled to run from 2 p.m. until 6:30 at the Johnson Park Center Food Pantry on West Street. Among the items that will be available, chicken, cheese, pasta, fruit, and vegetables. Anyone who doesn't have a vehicle can get food tomorrow at the pantry between the hours of 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. Central New York drivers still finding consistent prices at the pump when it comes to filling up. AAA says the average cost for a gallon of fuel in Central New York is at $3.24. That's the same as last week and 13 cents lower from this time a month ago. Now, if you shop around, you will find lower prices. Matter of fact, I believe I saw this morning a posting of $2.99. So some under $3, but maybe in the more rural areas, there is a 20 to 25 cent difference. Currently, the state average is $3.26, The national average is 310. The Syracuse Mets giving fans an opportunity to watch the upcoming solar eclipse. The first 10,000 people who file through the turnstiles at NBT Bank Stadium on April 8th will get commemorative glasses courtesy of Visit Syracuse. The eclipse is scheduled to happen around 3:23 that day, roughly 90 minutes before the Mets take on the Red Sox at 5:05 p.m. Tickets for that Mets game don't go on sale until March 2nd. The tax season is underway, and the State Department of Tax and Finance in New York is reminding Empire State residents they can file returns for free. In order to qualify, though, you must meet certain income and qualification guidelines. It's estimated that free filing saves people hundreds of dollars a year. This year's deadline is midnight, April 15th. For more information, just visit tax.ny.gov. WIBX News Time is 7:06. Your Weather Center forecast comes to you from Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint. But for full details on that, we will go to our in-studio weatherman, Bill Keeler.
Yeah, we are looking for. You caught me right off guard there. So, but
well,
I'm
when I
ready
realized
for
they
you.
didn't have a forecast, I was caught quite off guard myself.
Absolutely ready for you. Today, cloudy skies, a few flurries or snow showers possible, and the temps will remain steady in the low to mid 30s. Tonight will drop down to 22 with most of the cloudy skies. And as Craig Flint said, a relatively quiet week in terms of weather before things begin to get colder later on. We'll get into that later on. But tomorrow's forecast, cloudy with a high of 34. Currently, we are at 31 at WIBX.
All right, in sports yesterday, conference championship games, nobody saw Detroit with a 3-score halftime lead, but everyone predicted the outcome. An amazing come-from-behind victory for the 49ers as they scored 27 points in the second half. They knock off the Detroit Lions. The season comes to a disappointing end for Dan Campbell and company. 34-31 your final there. And this after Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs shocked the Baltimore Ravens. 17-10 was the final in Baltimore. That sets up a Super Bowl 58 of the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs. That will come in now just under 2 weeks. Several signings in the NFL for coordinator positions. The Falcons hiring Zach Robinson as offensive coordinator. The Eagles get Kellen Moore as their offensive coordinator. The Browns hire Ken Dorsey as their OC. Eric Washington is the new defensive coordinator for the Bears. In other sports, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver finalizing a contract extension. The 61-year-old took over for David Stern as commissioner in 2014 after 8 years as the league's deputy commissioner. Silver responsible for new league initiatives like the in-season tournament, the draft lottery reform, and player participation legislation. Elsewhere in the sports world, the Knicks are going to be without Julius Randle, at least for tonight's game against the Hornets. He's been ruled out with a dislocated right shoulder. After missing nearly 3 months because of a pinched nerve in his back, Nets guard Ben Simmons is listed as probable for tonight's game against the Utah Jazz. He has not played since November 6th. He's been battling back injuries since the Nets traded for him nearly 2 years ago. Let's see, the Rangers and Devils enter the NHL All-Star break. The Rangers currently lead the Metro Division at 63 points, 30-16-3. Artemi Panarin leads the Blue Shirts with 66 points. The Islanders are fourth in the division. The Devils tied for fifth with 51 points. College hoops, the 14-6 Orange visit Boston College tomorrow night. Seton Hall on a 3-game losing streak. And the Pirates visit DePaul tomorrow night. St. John's looking for its second consecutive victory. They will be in action later this week.
And Syracuse women had their first loss at the Dome yesterday. Davey, that was they lost to
17th rate Virginia Tech women, 75-62.
But that's after Syracuse earlier
beat
had
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, yeah. So a couple of other, and of course SU had a big win over the weekend. That was big. The men, Utica Pioneers hockey Friday night at the Odd. The Pioneers beat Nazareth 7-0, and then in Rochester on Saturday, Utica 4-2 over Nazareth. The Comets on Saturday stopped the Crunches winning streak with a 3-1 win. And in soccer, Utica City FC, they scored 3 goals in 90 seconds to beat Kansas City 7-3 on Sunday.
Wow.
So there you go. We have a bunch to get to, including Habaika's free money question of the day. We'll get to it coming up. It's 7:10 at WIBX.
Major phone carriers make you sign contracts with rigid data plans to trap you into a kind of forced phonogamy. Sounds pretty insecure if you ask me. At Consumer Cellular, we believe in a more consensual and healthy form of phonogamy, free of contracts and more flexible to your data needs. This way, you stick around not because we force you to with contracts and fees, but because you love our phone plans. Like ardently love our phone plans. Phonogamously. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
This station is brought to you by Tallman's Tire, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Oneida County Department of Family and Community Services has immediate openings for program nurses starting at over $59,000. Nurses work a 35-hour work week, conducting patient screenings and home health assessments. And the civil service exam fee is waived for 2024. Apply now at oneidacountyjobs.com.
A healthy weight, more energy, and smooth, regular bowel movements. 3 things everyone strives for.
It's me, Chuck Norris. There's one really important thing we don't talk about enough: our health. Achy joints, digestive issues, weight gain, and fatigue. We're told these are normal signs of aging. So working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick.
Morning Kick is a revolutionary formula combining 10 different supplements in one. Probiotics that help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and several of the most powerful anti-aging supplements on earth. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, focused, and help manage stress.
Anybody can achieve great health regardless of their age.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com. Use code SUPPORT or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off today.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee.
Text SUPPORT to 511-511. Morning Kick.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Navage provides quick, drug-free nasal relief this time of year when everyone is sick. Navage helps by sucking out germs, bacteria, and viruses trapped in our noses that cause us to feel miserable. And come allergy season, it does the same with dust, pollen, and other allergens. And unlike medications that can take time to help, Navage helps treat congestion symptoms in seconds flat. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage. N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Get ready for this week's half-off Thursday deal with SeizeTheDeal.com. Score your half-off gift certificate to Utica Barbecue this Thursday morning starting at 8. Get $50 for $25 with Seize the Deal's half-off Thursday. Utica Barbecue at 244 Roosevelt Drive in Utica offers real smoke, real flavor. Like them on Facebook for all of their daily specials. Get your half-off Thursday gift certificates this Thursday from Utica Barbecue. Make sure you hurry because they sell out fast at SeizeTheDeal.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, 7:13. Andrew is off. Boy, he's had quite a, as long as we can talk about Andrew with him not here. Manansky is sitting in here this morning.
Good morning.
Andrew has had quite a month.
Couple weeks off?
Well, he has had a time off.
Oh, what are we talking about?
Well, he got getting engaged.
Oh, he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah. And now he's off on a celebratory engagement cruise, I guess. They're off to Florida looking for a venue for their wedding.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it won't be here.
That the week before.
Huh?
He did that last week.
Yeah, last week was that.
Now he's on his excursion.
Hey, I gotta go for a couple of days. We're gonna go check out venues for the wedding.
He did a marathon yesterday before he loaded the ship.
Then he did a half a marathon yesterday.
Did he?
Yeah.
Why, is he back in shape?
No.
He just went and did a half a marathon.
Yeah, he hadn't trained at all. And but I talked to him yesterday for a little bit. He did really well.
Good for him.
And they rolled him. that's the way you want. You always want to be able to pass the lines when you're getting on a cruise, right? You've been on a cruise.
Yeah.
That long wait you just want to get on.
Yeah.
And you can spend a little extra to get like VIP treatment. They'll put you right on. Or you can run a half marathon and get in a wheelchair and they wheel you right on. Hurry up. He's got to have a drink.
I'm injured.
He is injured. I want to check in with Fox News Radio's Evan Brown on Meta, the Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg breaking his silence on the anti-Semitism on Harvard's campuses. And Evan Brown, good morning. What do we know on this one?
Good morning. Yeah, so Mark Zuckerberg was a Harvard student at one point. He did not finish his degree at Harvard. He dropped out to go make Facebook. But he's now sort of getting involved in this battle that's going on, not so much by being very vocal, really, but by backing a friend of his by the name of Sam Lessin. He was a Harvard colleague or classmate.
Yes.
Excuse me. And Sam Lessin, who is now a venture capitalist, is looking to get a board on the Harvard board, a seat on the Harvard Board of Overseers, which is one of the governing bodies within the Harvard Corporation. It's a governing body made up of alumni.
Mm-hmm.
And Zuckerberg appeared on a virtual kind of event, sort of fundraiser for him to really campaign hard for this seat, saying that Mr. Lessin might have the ability to sway campus policies and help direct the institution beyond the mess that it's in, and it really is in quite a mess.
Yeah. So it is, and the schools are really trying to struggle with free speech, open political dialogue. It is all a part of free speech to have an opinion on the war and policy, right? But at the same time, you may be against the war and want a ceasefire in Gaza, yet that doesn't make you an anti-Semitic. However, a lot of these things on these college campuses have reached the point of name-calling and anti-Semitics. That's where this really comes into play, right?
Well, when Jewish students are being harassed on campus for simply going about their business,
that's
then
a problem.
That is anti-Semitism. So that's the problem, yeah.
So what's the solution? Does he have a solution, a meta solution?
I don't think he has a solution per se, but he wants to see the institution move forward. And so by doing that, he's backing people who he thinks can help guide the university forward.
Yeah.
Harvard is a private institution. The Harvard Corporation, which is the owner of Harvard, has a number of governing boards made up of different groups of people. There's ones that do with academics, there are ones that do with alumni. And so there's been a move among, Harvard alumni or Harvard, people who are connected to the Harvard community, trying to now get on these boards to help guide the institution, because the people who have been doing it are the ones responsible for hiring people like Claudine Gay to be the university's president, and that hasn't worked out.
Well, listen, they should have the money to get this fixed, considering they were able to get all that COVID money, for companies who are in trouble, although I don't see Harvard as ever being in trouble, but I think they might have had to give that COVID. They maybe gave that COVID money back. I'm pretty sure if you remember that story.
I'm just
go
ahead. I'm sorry.
Bit of a jumble to me at this point, but
right. We're kind of like on spin cycle in this last 5 years. All right, interesting stuff. Certainly something that college campuses need to figure out. Evan Brown, as always, thank you so much.
You got it.
Have a great day. Manaski.
I'm going to claim ignorance here. It does seem funny to me to hear him reference the Harvard Corporation, and you refer to Harvard as a company that was struggling to do business.
It's a bit of tongue-in-cheek. If you remember, when COVID money was going out to companies with so many employees, remember, one of the big stories came out is that Harvard was one that got a lot of money, a lot of COVID rescue money.
Mm-hmm.
And when you really dig in, you realize that Harvard really was in no position where they were in any financial trouble to deserve that money. But they qualified, they got the money like a lot of different companies did.
Mm-hmm.
So I find that to be interesting. As long as we're talking about Harvard, some guy in the 540, when you asked about why does the hospital continue to raise money, couple comments on that. Remember, colleges always beg alumni for donations, even though they constantly increase tuition, and probably their bank accounts are doing just fine.
Sure.
Joe Joseph this morning says he is a patient at Sloan Kettering in New York City. He said, I get fundraising emails almost weekly from them. It is something that you get often. But it'll be interesting to hear from the hospital where the money goes, right?
Yes, and
and it's not like you weren't getting your money's worth if you gave. I mean, that was the food and the entertainment was something we're not used to. Right? It was Vegas level.
Yeah, and of course
Steve Wynn, of course, being involved.
What Bill is referencing is the Wynn Gala, a birthday party for Steve Wynn over the weekend, but which was a fundraiser for the Wynn Hospital, and $10,000 sponsorships for tables, $25,000, $50,000, and $100,000 for other things. My question is,
and Garth Brooks performing,
and Garth Brooks, yeah,
and it was up and close. It was just Garth and his guitar.
Nice little acoustic performance there from Garth Brooks, of
Happy
course,
birthday,
a country
Steve
legend.
Wynn.
I guess my question is still, if we didn't do the merging of the two facilities into one and have a new hospital, would they hold events like this? And that's a fair point. Whether it's a college or a hospital, they're always having fundraising events, sure. But I'm just wondering, what does that money go for?
Well, we will ask that question as we get a little bit closer. Let's see. I have some comments here. Lance and Lee was asking on Friday. Somehow it came up where schools do not. I think Kathy had asked. They're in Boston. I think maybe it's not Boston. One district around the country, a large one has gone on strike, and the kids missed 4 or 5 days of school.
It was in Boston.
I thought it was Boston. Anyway, she said, "What happens if that happens here?" And I said, "You're not going to see that happening. It is illegal in New York for teachers and really public positions to people who hold public positions to go on strike." Mm-hmm. And then Lance and Lee said, "Wait a minute. I remember Rome teachers went on strike back in the 80s. It doesn't to me sound like that's true. When did the law change?" I responded by saying it's prohibited by the Taylor Law, which dates back to 1967. The problem then with the Taylor Law at that time was, while it was illegal, it had no teeth. And there were changes made through the 70s in contracts for school districts. Mm-hmm. And so now the way almost all contracts, the way they're run for school districts, is if you go outside your contract, like my wife's school was right in the middle of this, their contract expired in June. So you may see teachers go out and do a picket after school, but you won't see a work stoppage. So there's a difference between the two. Now, just because it's illegal doesn't mean it can't be done.
Right.
So I believe they lose a great deal of pay if they were to go. It would be there's a great penalty if they were to go on strike. And then what was done over the years is the contracts were bolstered so as I said, my wife's contract expired in June. Everything remains in place from the previous contract. So it's not like they're saying, all right, you're not getting paid anymore, or we've cut your pay in half, or we've gone back to a 1970 rate of pay. No, it at that point stays where it is, and it would stay that way. And there's a chance that part of your negotiation when the new contract gets put into place that you get retroactive pay. So you'd get paid potentially for everything that, it all depends on the contract that is created. But it is no longer, the penalties are so great for schools in New York. And yes, it is illegal based on the Taylor Law, but the penalties are so great that schools don't go on strike because there's no benefit to it. And they end up getting hurt. Teachers end up getting hurt even more, which is a good thing, right? You don't want these kids to be going through what some school districts go through around the country where the kids are just out of school.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
It is. It's a big problem.
Here's Kathy. And then, by the way, one more. Lance said, nope, you're wrong. Teachers went on strike in 81 or 82. I remember it distinctly. The replacement teachers parked in the lot by my house and were bused to the schools.
Scab teachers?
I don't know what happened there, but as I said, it is highly unlikely that any teachers would go on strike today because the penalty is so bad. And if there were replacement teachers, that means those teachers who were on strike were either fired or went without pay.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a battle. And, oh, by the way, while they're on strike, their current deal would have just remained in place. So I don't know the story there, Lance. If you can send me the story, I'd love to see it. But just because it's illegal doesn't mean...
No, you're wrong, Bill.
Doesn't mean it...
No.
It can't happen. Here's Kathy in Rome. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning. I don't know about the law, whether it's changed or not, but I remember in 1974, I was in 11th grade, and I was watching the early morning news, and over the radio, television saying Westmoreland was closed, and the school bus went by, and I remember jumping in the car, driving to school myself, and there was all the teachers with their picket signs.
Yeah. Well, again, this is really what I just said. So in 1967, the law made it illegal for teachers to strike. But that doesn't mean that, conditions are so bad, we're going to break the law and we're going to go on strike. But the change has been over the years, contracts now stay in place. So you're better off negotiating, doing your protesting after school, whatever it is, negotiating with the union, because your salary still remains the same. Your benefits still remain the same until, let's say the school wanted to cut your health insurance.
Right.
So we want to cut your health insurance by 10%, and your contract runs out. You still keep the old health insurance. You don't
Correct.
lose that 10% while you're negotiating without a contract. So it behooves the teachers and the union to go on strike because you may be in a better position without a contract. See what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I remember going to BOCES. I went to BOCES in the morning, and when I came back at noontime, they had dismissed and sent everybody home.
Yeah.
So
well, I would say
times
this.
have changed.
I would say this. When do you remember a local school? And now Lance is saying back in 1980. I'm looked over the weekend for the news story, and I couldn't find a news story on it. But I don't remember any in the last 30 or 40 years any situation where a school district in New York State has gone on strike.
Well, that was just kind of unique, and something like that.
Sure.
As a kid, it sticks in your
Yeah,
head.
it does.
So
I remember.
All right, have a good day.
Oh, you too. You have a wonderful
Bye-bye.
day. I remember when we went on strike as students back in 1981.
What?
The school said you couldn't wear there were T-shirts going around that said there were two things that were big. Death to disco was a big deal.
Okay.
Back in 79 and 80, and then Harley's. It was a black T-shirt with the words on the front. Harley's the best. The hell with the rest. And I remember the school then saying, those shirts cannot be worn to school. They are because of the word the hell. So some kids would tape over the word hell and come to school with a shirt. But I do remember at one point there was a walkout, and all the students walked out of the high school across onto public property into the park over the Harley T-shirts. I mean, think about it. Back then we were worried about the word hell on a T-shirt.
Now at Harvard, don't they encourage the students to wear "Death to the Jews"? Isn't that what they say now?
That's what they're allowing. But think about the stuff that kids are able to do in schools today. Wow, have things changed?
Yeah.
You have more there?
Oh no, not on this. No.
Okay.
Oh, and I just want to say good morning to Lance. Good morning, Lance.
Lance and Lee says, okay, I haven't heard from Lance, but Lance, if you have that, please come along, would you, with the link? I'd like to see that story from 1980 or whatever year it might have been. Any other comments to squeeze in? I know Wayne was piping in this morning.
Good morning,
number
Wayne.
One, good morning to Manaski. It says, not that I would do it, but them marathons are more walkers than runners. The runners are the ones who want to finish in the money. The rest seem to do a lot of walking.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think Andrew does a lot of walking.
I don't think Andrew does a lot of walking.
And by the
but
way,
this was the thing with the Boilermaker locally where they started, 10 years ago telling people, remember, this is a race, folks.
Yeah, they didn't want people to be walking.
You can still come to the post-race party if you didn't quote, run or participate. But remember that people, volunteers, take care of this course, and they want to get home at before the sun goes down. So,
and I will remind you that that Andrew was in a half marathon, which is about 13
miles. Yeah.
A little bit more than 13 miles.
13.1.
Dick says, in Deerfield, did you guys talk about Friday's $83 million decision against Trump? I've not talked about it. It's I've heard that it's un-American. It's the most American thing that could ever happen. It is what it is. And a jury of your peers makes and it didn't help that during that whole thing, the former president kept interrupting and saying, this is a witch hunt. No, it's a court case. You lost the trial. There is no liberals versus conservatives here. It's the United States court system. You lost the trial. Now it comes to the point where you determine how much has to be paid, and the jury came back with $83 million. So now what happens? Well, now Trump's going to appeal.
Mm-hmm.
And I would dare say it'll take that woman 10 to 15 years, maybe longer, to ever see a penny of that money. That'll get tied up in court for so long. Well, the other side could say this is un-American. I mean, I have a settlement here. The jury awarded me $83 million. Well, it'll sit there for a long time before she ever sees it. It's also part of the system. That's how it works.
Yeah.
So I don't buy into the whole this is un-American crap because it's just not true.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy into this.
And he's not, trust me, Trump's not paying. He won't be paying for a long time.
And you know what? I wasn't there. I don't know if he did it or didn't do it. But unfortunately, this is the process, and he was found guilty.
It is the process. It is the American way. Do you know we have like 2,800 people on death row today? And they're all tied up in courts. They're all battling over, should this person be put to death? Should they not be put to death? That's like 2,700 people sitting there waiting to die. And they're caught up in the American system. So when you say that's not the American way, good or bad, it's the American way. And then one more, Rick says, there's no doubt there were teacher strikes in the early to mid-'70s. After that, things quelled down, as you mentioned, and after the penalties became more stringent and contracts remained in force, they've gone away because there's no benefit for the teachers to go on strike today. So I'm not saying there never was a strike. I'm saying they are against the law. They have been since 1967, but things have changed to make them prohibitive, not beneficial for the unions to go on strike.
Yeah.
Can I move on here?
You go ahead.
You're in need of a doctor. The AI doctor is in. How ChatGPT may pave a new era for people to be able to get a diagnosis on their own.
Well, listen, I've been self-diagnosing for 10 to 15 years now.
Yes, you have. Or we throw it up on the air and people come up with, you know what you have.
Yeah.
The Chief Growth Officer...
No, tell me, because I'd like to know what it is.
Sniffle. His name is Chris Matthew to give us a little update on this. Chris, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
So I'm not sure this is a bad thing. It's probably better than Google. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I 100% agree with you. It is not a bad thing, and it is better than a Dr. Google search. Or have you ever had yourself or a family or friend go to WebMD, start searching for something, and then you go down a rabbit hole, and you just get terrified on what it is you may or may not have found?
Yeah, it is. It all goes back to the Brady Bunch episode where one of the kids had something and the pages were stuck together, and he went to the next page, and it was something terminal when it really wasn't terminal. That was kind of the storyline, if I recall. And that's kind of what happens in Google today.
Absolutely. Listen, I think that there's a lot of good that can come out of it. There's also some things that we need to be aware of and take into consideration. But just like when the Internet first came out, you could use it for lots of different reasons, and not all of it was as validated as it is now today. Same thing with AI tools, right? Yeah. But I think that the positive can be that people that you've heard of the terms hypochondriac.
Yes.
Right? There are now today cyberchondriacs, right? People that go to the extreme of thinking, oh, everything is stage 5 something. maybe medically curated AI can help them recognize it's not stomach cancer. It just may be indigestion.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, here's the great thing. On the flip side of that, the other side of that pendulum, there are a lot of people in the country that dismiss everything and think, it's fine, I'll be okay, it's not a big deal. It's just indigestion. And maybe medically curated AI can say, actually, in this scenario, it's not indigestion. That's appendicitis. And if we don't quickly and safely get you to the hospital, your appendix is going to burst, and then we're in a whole new world of complications.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, so let me ask you this. I jokingly said I do this all the time, but I said earlier this morning that I'm coming off a double ear infection. I was not. I didn't go to a doctor. I knew I had the pressure. I've dealt with this a number of times. I was able to get my hands on some medicine to take it. I guess that's the part that I'm wondering about with the Chat GPT or the AI doctor, if you will. Does that doctor, quote unquote, have the ability to prescribe you something? And that opens a whole nother Pandora's box of good and bad. In other words, I can fake a condition to get a medicine that I can sell or something like that. And the other side is if I actually need a medicine, can this fake doctor or digital doctor prescribe it to me?
Yeah. What happens there, and I would imagine the answer you're going to give us could very well change in 20 years, but right now the answer is?
The answer is no. No algorithm is going to be able to just deliver you a script because of your quote-unquote medical expertise. In reality, lack thereof, right? I mean, you have experience with ear infection, so you might be able to sense that. But it should always be a licensed medical provider that is responsible for dispensing a script. Now, what AI can do, you guys have heard of this for sure across the country, physician burnout, clinical burnout is a very real thing.
Yep.
Clinical shortages, physicians and nurses across the nation, huge shortages, right? In the coming years, you talk about 20 years from now. In 20 years from now, we're going to be in a real crisis of manpower. Now, with that being said, maybe AI can help us. Maybe AI can do those initial assessments so that we can determine, is it just an earache? Or, oh, no, this is more complicated. This is a double ear infection.
Right.
And that then puts you in touch with the physician versus Chris, who just happens to have a slight earache, right? AI can help really support physicians and clinicians to do more with less.
Almost like a weeding out of the junk cases.
Yeah. Well, as Cheech and Chong once said, earache my eye. And then I believe that was a song, Davey. Yeah, it was. Okay, Chris, I want to ask one final question on this. One of the things you hear people oftentimes say, and you hear doctors talk about too, is, I'm sorry, there's an algorithm out there. The computers are saying it's this, this, or this, and it won't allow me to do a test for A, B, and C, which I see as something that is harming us by taking away the ability for a physician to be able to move on a hunch, to test for something that maybe isn't as common. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's unfortunate, but I also, it's that scenario that you just lay out there, that's not AI. That's not a tech problem. That's an insurance problem.
That's an insurance problem, there's no doubt.
It's called prior authorization.
Yeah.
That doctor says, you know what? It could be one of these three things, but unfortunately, my hands are tied because the insurance company won't allow me to run 3 tests on you. I can only run 1 test on you based on your policy. So I got to pick the best option of the 3.
Now,
and that's unfortunate for the doctor and the patient.
There's no doubt about it. Maybe AI helps that. Maybe this technology can put us in a position where the insurance companies say, all right, we have a valid reason now to be able to approve this test because of what we learned from AI. So maybe it helps.
I think it's going to. I think it's going to, especially if you can use medically curated AI. Right? The moment that AI can be really specific and valid, not with hallucinations, as you've heard about that happen sometimes in AI, but when you can have medically validated and curated AI, then the physician and the insurance companies can say there's a higher probability that the data is showing we need to run this test because insurance companies are very interested in this as well. They don't want to pay for catastrophe care if they don't have to.
Yep, fair enough.
If they can get you in and get you a test and get you a medicine, and so a little thing doesn't become a big thing, they're very interested in that as well.
Chris Matthew, thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it greatly.
Thanks, guys.
All right, have a great day. The company's called Sniffle. He's the Chief Growth Officer with Sniffle. It's 7:40. Davey, let's do Habaika's free money question of the day. Starting the week off with... $200. Wow, you're not screwing around. It's our final few days of January. So $200 on the line. You're looking for caller number what?
7.
Seventh caller through the lines right now with 315. Isn't it good to be back for this contest?
Caller 2 gets a chance to win $700. How about it's unbelievable?
Caller 7 gets a chance at $200. 315-736-0186. We'll take caller 7 for a chance to win next on WIBX.
A lot of Canoli's energy started to bounce back.
She has a lot of puppy moments, and she'll be 14 this summer.
What did these dog parents do for their dogs? They switched to Nature's Blend, a premium freeze-dried raw dog food made by Dr. Marty Goldstein, a veterinarian Forbes magazine called the Miracle Worker. It's the easiest way to support your dog's easy digestion, nourished skin, playful energy, and most importantly, their healthy, full life.
I'm so confident your dog will love it. Your order is back with a 90-day guarantee.
Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free full-size bag of Tilly's Treasures dog treats. They're best-selling beef liver dog treats while supplies last. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or shop in over 2,000 stores nationwide. Use the store locator to find the store closest to you. All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply. Studies available upon request.
Oneida County Department of Family and Community Services has immediate openings for program nurses, starting at over $59,000. Nurses work a 35-hour work week, conducting patient screenings and home health assessments. And the civil service exam fee is waived for 2024. Apply today at OneidaCountyJobs.com.
Adirondack Home Furniture's Flex Steel Big Game Sale is going on now, but only for a limited time. Hurry in for discounts up to 15% off select sofas, recliners, occasional pieces, and leather furniture. With hundreds of designer fabrics to choose from, your new piece is guaranteed to have the look you want. Stop dreaming and start creating the home of your dreams with quality, long-lasting Flex Steel furniture from Adirondack Home Furniture. Beauty and comfort is made to last with Flex Steel's exclusive lifetime warranty blue steel spring seating. Stop into Adirondack Home Furniture today and save up to 15% during their big game sale. Visit their Flex Steel gallery for the best selection of Flex Steel furniture on sale. The best value and top quality furniture for your home is at Adirondack Home Furniture. You don't want to miss out on the Flex Steel big game sale at Adirondack Home Furniture. Hurry in, sale ends soon. Located at the former Riverside Mall, Horatio Street, Utica.
At MVHS, our team members fell in love with care long ago. Their lives were changed, and their world has been expanding ever since. In respect, compassion, knowledge, and ability. And it's only just begun. Because fueling the future of care starts here at the Wynn Hospital. Local care on a whole new level. The Wynn Hospital. Unwavering commitment and compassion. Learn more at mvhealthsystem.org. This is for you. The first steps taken in the Wynn Hospital are the first steps of a care experience that stands apart. One where compassion can always be found, where teams are trained to serve you well, and where cutting-edge technology is always at the ready. Because here, you not only receive state-of-the-art care, you have a distinctive care experience, one that is all about your comfort in a healing environment. Welcome to the Wynn Hospital.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like discovering a refund tree has grown in your backyard.
I'm the refund tree.
Sawing off its branches.
Hey.
Feeding them through a wood chipper.
My branches! My beautiful branches!
And dancing in its refund rain. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
The Joseph Michael Chubbuck Foundation's 7th Annual Central New York Wing Wars, to be held Saturday, February 3rd, 2024, is sold out. The Chubbuck Foundation wants to thank the Central New York community, WIBX, Arts Hill Inn, and this year's participants, Celtic Harp, Fratello's Pizzeria, Hot Off the Brick, Knuckleheads, Lucan's, Piggy Pats, Pizza Boys, Pizzeria Italia, Ray Brothers Barbecue, Crust Kitchen and Bar, Tony's Pizzeria and Deli of New Hartford, and Utica Barbecue for their continued support. The 200 attendees will vote for the best wing and the most unique wing, alongside a panel of 7 celebrity judges: Oneida County Sheriff Masciol, Senator Griffo, WKTV's Jason Powells, Empire Plate's Bill Pinchy, WIBX's Bill Keeler, Assemblywoman Buttonshawn, and former SU football player Byron Abraham. Proceeds will assist cancer patients in financial need in Oneida, Herkimer, Madison, and Onondaga counties. If you'd like to add your name to the ticket cancellation list in the event a ticket becomes available, please call 315-339-5993. Weekdays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Thank you.
She's running around. Her breath doesn't smell. Her digestive system is perfect. It has made such a huge difference.
What did this dog parent do for their dog? She switched to Nature's Blend, a premium freeze-dried raw dog food made by Dr. Marty Goldstein, a veterinarian Forbes magazine called the Miracle Worker. It's the easiest way to support your dog's easy digestion, nourished skin, playful energy, and most importantly, their healthy, full life.
I'm so confident your dog will love it. Your order is back with a 90-day guarantee.
Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free full-sized bag of Tilly's Treasures dog treats. They're best-selling beef liver dog treats while supplies last. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or shop in over 2,000 stores nationwide. Use the store locator to find the store closest to you. All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply. Studies available upon request.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Okay, here we go on Monday morning. We now know where the Super Bowl is going to be. It's the Chiefs and 49ers. As you're wearing your Giants hat there.
Yes, I dusted this thing out and pulled it out here.
Well, we look to next year. We look to the Masters. We look to Major League Baseball. Just a couple of weeks away from getting the catchers and pitchers in.
And I hate to be a TV weatherman, but I am shocked. Like, February 1st is when? Tomorrow? Thursday?
No, it is Thursday.
Wow.
Yeah. Here we go. I can't believe it's already February.
Yeah, I know.
Here's Ryan in Whitesboro ready to take a shot at Habaika's free money question of the day. Joseph and Andrew Habaika at 315-724-1600. And Ryan, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. How are you?
Good. You ready to take a shot here?
Oh, I'm ready. I'm hoping I win.
All right, let's do it for $200. Here is your question. In the 1930s, Monopoly used this city as its inspiration. Ready? Go. The board game Monopoly.
Well, I gotta say New York City.
Gotta go with New York City. So there is one city where all of the streets are named after
Atlantic City.
Atlantic City.
Atlantic City.
Yes.
Oh, too little,
it
too
was
late.
From Mediterranean to
yeah.
Boardwalk is the key, right?
Yeah.
Boardwalk.
I forgot about. I did know that actually, and
Yeah.
it didn't come together. Obviously.
Well, listen, that's how it always seems to work, but not always. So $200 on the line. We're going to give you the Utica All-in-One Food and Fun card, though. It's a $25 gift card, good at all the restaurants associated with the Comets and Rob Esch. Aquavino, Babes, 72 Tavern and Grill. By the way, Aquavino now over in New Hartford, which is really, really awesome. And the Tailor and the Cook, which is brand new. Down there by the train station. That place is incredible. And the concession stands at the Adirondack Bank Center and Nexus. Stand by. Davey Ryan is going to hook you up.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Davey, he gets the food and fun card. Yeah. We were mentioning over the weekend on Saturday night was the big gala for MVHS and for Wynn Hospital. It was Steve Wynn's birthday. And on top of an unbelievable meal, we're talking about Garth Brooks performing
live, an acoustic show. Imagine what tickets for that would go for if that was held, at a Turning Stone.
Well, I think it's almost like there were tickets, right?
Yeah,
because
but there were sponsorship tickets.
You had to pay to get there. But what an event over the weekend! There was just so much stuff happening this past weekend. As we mentioned, Leon Etienne at the Stanley Theater, and that was a full house on Saturday night. Comets games, Pioneers games over the weekend, Utica City FC, just a lot of stuff going down. Big Honey this morning. When did the kids, and by the way, Jeff Banaski in this morning.
Good morning.
Andrew's off on he's cruising. How much you want to bet, though, on the cruise ship, they're still having the problem with people coming back sick.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's like, I got back from a cruise. I came home with COVID.
Yeah. So I'll be in a couple days this week and a couple days next week.
Yeah, it'll be next week. When did the kids start running the schools? I blame the school boards for letting it get out of control, says Big Honey. I'm not sure what you're referencing. Maybe it's the walkout. Remember I had said this was 1980, though.
Yeah.
That we did the walkout.
40 years ago.
And you know what people were saying back then? I can't believe these schools don't have control of these kids.
Yeah.
Right? That was back then. Although, boy, I will tell you that the stuff, I don't know if you saw, you're seeing that we started off the year with two homicides, both with kids under the age of 17. Terrible.
Yeah, it's awful.
And there was a board meeting last week in Utica where the teachers union stepped up and spoke to the Board of Education saying, we're actually afraid. Some teachers are afraid to come to school.
Yeah.
That's pretty terrible.
It is awful. As a matter of fact, I couldn't imagine a situation where you are afraid to go in to do your job, not because you're going to do it wrong or you dislike somebody, but the thought that you might get caught up in some exchange of violence. At the same time, though, I guess when you think about it, COs, are in that situation. Police officers are in that situation. Certainly as a teacher, you don't expect to be in that situation. But they do have security, right? Don't they? I mean, this was something we talked about in Utica.
They have a lot of security.
Supposedly you can't bring weapons in through that system.
The worry, though, is with something that we've been talking about for a long time, these ghost guns or these 3D printed guns are made of plastic.
Right.
So the fear is that stuff won't show up in a metal detector. But I think the metal detectors that are used, it might be a little more advanced. So it isn't just metal that they're. Yet you hear stories every day of the best security in the world, right, is probably at our airports.
Right.
And stuff ends up slipping through there. So how does that happen? I thought this was kind of interesting. A Tesla battery exploded inside a North Carolina home while it was being charged after it had a short circuit. And they say that when these batteries catch on fire, it is such a hot fire that it is almost impossible for a person to put out that fire. It's very difficult. And but here's audio that we have on what happened there in North Carolina with Tesla.
So I got the smaller of the two batteries from the car in the kitchen, charging it up, and then it exploded. Neighbor went inside to see if we couldn't extinguish the fire, so he's going to have that smoke plus dry chem that he inhaled.
So, we now have, so there's a battery, maybe you have a battery-operated snowblower.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you have you got a weed whacker, your drills are all these are using lithium batteries.
Mm-hmm.
And they say you should not charge these inside a garage.
Well, that's a tough thing in the winter.
Where else are you going to charge them?
Right.
Even in the summertime. I guess you could put a electric in a shed or something. But how do you plan on charging them without? So what I've tried to pull off, in my house anyway, is I'll charge them, and then once charged, I unplug them. Because I used to just leave them all plugged in. And there's an automatic shut-off, supposedly, that shuts it off. But, those batteries are still there.
Yeah, this is... and he mentioned it during that 911 call or whatever it was that you played, that it was a certain kind of a chemical smoke that the neighbor may have inhaled.
Yeah,
I mean,
along with
that leads to additional issues and complications as well.
It does. I want to take you to Herkimer yesterday, down at Waterfront Grill in Herkimer. It was the annual tailgate party for the conference championships. It's getting a little old every year, and we're always involving Kansas City. That's getting a little old.
Yeah,
I feel. But what is not getting old is Mark Butler talking about the money raised, the gifts being given away. They do an auction, and of course, there's an awesome tailgate party with a lot of great food that kind of matches a tailgate party. On the line right now, one of the organizers, former New York State Assemblyman Mark Butler, now mayor of Newport, New York. Mark, good morning.
Well, good morning, Bill. And I'll tell you what's really getting old is the Buffalo Bills not being in the championship game anymore.
Well, you told me there was going to be a big bonfire outside the Waterfront Grill with everybody.
Well, unfortunately, because of the weather, we had to cancel that. But it wasn't far.
So you're packing away your Bills gear for next year.
Yeah, that's right. I said the next day, this is just the first day of the new season.
I will say it was not on my diet, but I had to take a taste. That macaroni and cheese at Rocky's Waterfront Grill was so good on that buffet yesterday.
I was a fan of the chili, but it was all great. It was a great event, and the food was great as well.
And I noticed you got some outside coverage as well. KTV News covered it as well, and so let's talk about it. You had a full house at Waterfront Grill. It was a great party once again.
That's absolutely right. We had a goal last year. I think we raised about $4,500 to split between the three local organizations we voted to support. Our goal this year was $5,000. We fell a little bit short of that, but not too short of it. But it was a very extraordinary event because the gifts, the donations that people gave us to raffle off were just incredible. Kelly Brown from the Hunger Coalition donated wine that was probably worth between $500 and $700. Rocky has season tickets to both the Giants and to the Bills. We gave 2 tickets to each of those games. Those were probably worth $500 a piece. So
that's
people
just for parking.
Really stepped up, and it was I was so proud to be part of this community that comes together like that.
Well, talk about the charities that you guys chose this year.
Well, we chose the MOVAC, the Ambulance Corps. They always are in need of some help. There's all kinds of problems with how those local ambulance corps get funded. Of course, the Herkimer County Hunger Coalition. Herkimer County got kind of a bad rap recently. There was a article that we were the #1 county in the state in terms of food needs or apprehension about whether food would be available. I don't think that's quite accurate, but it was not pleasant to hear. So we certainly made up our mind that we needed to support the Hunger Coalition as well, and they do a great job, and we were happy to do that. And the third organization was the Humane Society, who are always doing a great job. They're working very hard, and it was just a great night. And those were 3 very deserving organizations, I have to say.
Yep, it was certainly a great year for it and a great event. And this year you were kind of stuck with some inclement weather that was looming out there, and right about the time that the party was going on, all of a sudden that snow came down. It came down hard yesterday.
Yeah, we were getting a little nervous about whether that would affect the attendance, but it did not seem to have any impact at all. It was a perfect turnout. It was just a great day. People were really, I think, up for it. I think this time of year, you're coming down off the holidays, and the football season is almost over, and it kind of wraps everything up, and then you move on to your new adventures for the rest of the year.
I don't know if you said that correctly. I feel like the football season has been over since last week. I don't know what you're talking about. then
well, it's certainly over after last night. I was disappointed in the Baltimore.
Well, listen, I mean, how much more? And you know, there are those out there, those conspiracy theorists, who are like, this is what the NFL wanted. They wanted Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl.
Can we please talk about this more?
We will talk about
it.
Here. I want to get into that a little bit. And it is just not something that is true. But at the same time, that Mahomes, oh, my God. And Kelsey. So, all right, Mark, great job. Congratulations on a great event.
Well, thank you, Bill. And listen, thanks you and WIBX for helping us to promote it. I heard more people as I walked around the street talk about the coverage. You certainly helped us make people aware of what was going on, and we thank you for that.
Butler's line of the night yesterday was like, I told Rocky he was a thespian. He said, I am heterosexual. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, those of us who know Rocky, we know he has sometimes a little trouble with the English language, and we've been doing this how many years? And year after year, we kind of do take after take, and no, Rocky, say it like this.
He aced it. He completely aced it this year. So
I know. First time through, one take Rocky now.
Good stuff. All right, Mark, nice job. Congratulations.
All right, thanks, Bill. Appreciate it.
Quickly with Manansky in this, the belief that the NFL has, and there were penalties yesterday, but really, somebody said with a little help with the referees, the Chiefs won the game. But a lot of people are complaining about the one touchdown that was called back against the Chiefs. So I don't buy this whole thing that this is all set up in exactly the way.
I just, it's so difficult. This is not like professional wrestling where if I don't do the suplex properly, you're still going to pretend like you're devastated and I get to pin you. I mean, guys drop balls, they fumble balls. I watched a video. It kept coming up on my YouTube feed several times of a guy who said the NFL was rigged and scripted, and here was the evidence, and he was going to break it down. And you can see numerous variations of this with different teams. They'll tell you it's rigged, here's why, and then when so-and-so makes it to the Super Bowl, that's my evidence.
Yeah.
So it was that Baltimore was going to play San Francisco, the reason being the Super Bowl 58 logo has purple on the bottom and a light red on the top in the color scheme, and they say if you look back at the last four Super Bowl logos had a color from each of the team that participated, and those are unveiled before the season. So I guess my question is, well, then why didn't Baltimore make it?
It's funny because after I had said, I'm sorry, I don't buy into that, the person who texted that in through the app was like, I knew Bill would just discount it. I mean, he doesn't, he has no open mind to anything. Well, I don't with this. I just don't think that that's going on. And I guess you could say, well, hey, they wanted Taylor Swift in, but, the Bills could have beaten them and didn't. It is what it is. I hate that it's the Chiefs and the 49ers. But here we go again.
If there is an NFL prop out there for Super Bowl that Kelsey proposes to Swiftie,
take it.
Take it. I'm telling you.
Manansky has a quick update on news, and then he's leaving us, but we appreciate him sitting in there here this morning for Andrew. We do have news coming up right here, so stand by. WIBX Utica Rome. It is 8:03.
We're making an investment decision. It's up to 10 countries joining the U.S. suspending funding for the UN's Palestinian Refugee Agency over Israeli allegations that a dozen agency employees were involved in the Hamas October terror attack in Israel that triggered the war in Gaza. Now, as Russia keeps waging war in Ukraine, there's a NATO meeting this week focused on military aid to Ukraine still held up in Congress.
NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg plans to talk with U.S. defense officials and members of Congress this week to encourage further funding of Ukraine's defense. Stoltenberg said on Fox News Sunday the importance of support extends globally.
This is closely watched in Beijing, so it's not only making Europe more vulnerable, but all of us, also United States, more vulnerable if Putin gets what he wants.
Stoltenberg says he realizes Ukraine funding is being tied to U.S. border security. He says how each ally deals with its own border issues is not for NATO to advise on how to navigate. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures aren't moving too much. The Dow will start the week at the record high it closed at Friday. Will the Chiefs repeat as champs, or will the San Francisco 49ers avenge their loss to Kansas City 4 years ago? They'll battle again in the Super Bowl.
The 49ers scored 27 straight points in the second half to erase a 24-7 halftime deficit and beat the Lions 34-31. They head to their 8th Super Bowl in franchise history with a shot to tie the Patriots and Steelers with their 6th title. Travis Kelce had 11 catches for 116 yards and a touchdown, and the Chiefs' defense forced 3 Ravens turnovers in a 17-10 win. The champs are headed to their 4th Super Bowl in 5 years.
That's Fox's Tim McMaster. The Chiefs and the 49ers will play Sunday, February 11th. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
We are still dealing with cloudy skies, 31 degrees. WIBX news time is 8:05. This news update is brought to you by the Stanley Center for the Arts, presenting Standards and Stories with Tony Danza, April 6th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets on sale now through Ticketmaster. An internal investigation underway into how a man was able to escape police custody over the weekend. It happened in Oneida. Authorities say Mark Williams was able to get away from officers Saturday, but he ended up being captured just a few hours later in the downtown area. Williams was originally taken into custody by police on a court order. No word on what additional charges he may be facing. If you're worried about being able to put food on the table, you're invited to attend an event taking place in Utica today. It's a free drive-through food giveaway. It's scheduled from 2 p.m. until 6:30 at the Johnson Park Center Food Pantry. That's located on West Street. Among the items that will be available, chicken, cheese, pasta, fruit, and vegetables. Anyone who doesn't have a vehicle can get food tomorrow at the pantry between the hours of 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. Local gas prices holding steady on average, but you can find some discounts at local stations. According to AAA, the average cost for a gallon of regular fuel is now at $3.24. That's unchanged from last week, but 13 cents less than it was a month ago. Currently, the statewide average is $3.26. Nationally, it is at $3.10, and I can tell you on my way in this morning, I saw a station posting $2.99. Again, shop around because there is quite a variation depending on which station you stop at. And tax season is underway. The State Department of Tax and Finance reminds all of us that we can file our returns for free. Now, there are some qualification guidelines. It's estimated that free filing saves hundreds of dollars each year, and this year's deadline to file is midnight on April 15th. More information online at tax.ny.gov. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast calling for mostly cloudy skies through the day today with a high in the mid-30s. Overnight tonight, cloudy skies remain, a low falling back to 22. And more clouds, overcast for your Tuesday with a high of 35. Right now, mostly cloudy skies, 31 degrees. WIBX news time is 8:08. All right, in sports, Super Bowl 58 is now set. It'll be the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs. San Francisco gets there after an amazing comeback in the second half. They had to rally against the Detroit Lions after trailing 24-7 at the half. They do pull out a 34-31 victory over Detroit after a disappointing end of the season for Dan Campbell and the Lions. And the Kansas City Chiefs upset the Baltimore Ravens on the road, 17-10 the final in the AFC Championship game. Again, Super Bowl 58 is set for February 11th. Several hirings over the weekend in the NFL. The Falcons hire Zach Robinson as their new offensive coordinator. The Eagles get Kellen Moore as their new OC. The Browns hiring Ken Dorsey as offensive coordinator. The defensive coordinator in Chicago is now Eric Washington. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver finalizing a contract extension. The 61-year-old took over for David Stern as commissioner in 2014 after he spent several years as the league's deputy commissioner. The Knicks will be without Julius Randle tonight when they take on the Hornets. He's got a dislocated right shoulder. Randall suffered the injury during their recent win over the Miami Heat. And what else here? College basketball, Syracuse 14-6. They visit Boston College tomorrow night. The Syracuse women picked up a victory, or no, they suffered their first defeat.
Well, they beat Notre Dame the other night, and then yesterday had a loss, right?
Yeah, against Virginia Tech.
Did you get the Pioneers, Utica Pioneers, Friday night?
I did not.
7-0 over Nazareth. And then in Rochester, Saturday, 4-2 over Nazareth. The Comets over the Crunch, 3-1. That broke the Crunch's winning streak. And Utica City FC scoring 3 goals yesterday in 90 seconds, beating Kansas City 7-3.
You know,
and Davey has one more.
Former employee of WIBX's son played at Utica Odd on Utica University against Nazareth on
Really?
on Friday night. I was told on Saturday afternoon.
Who's that?
Jim Jackson's son plays for Nazareth.
Get out of here.
Yeah, so Jim Ronanelli got to meet Jim Jackson's wife, and they took a picture together, and she sent it over to Jim and said, "Oh yeah, I know Rondo." So Jim Jackson's wife was in town. His son plays for Nazareth.
Well, and she's from here.
Yes.
In fact, her dad used to be a big time. I'm pretty sure a big time boxing referee.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I thought for a minute maybe Smitty was talking about me, because I will tell you that Mr. Carter is at all of the Pioneer home games. His papa has season tickets and takes him and a couple of his little buddies, and they go to all the Pioneers games. They love it.
Good stuff. It's boy, and the fact that all of this, Utica City FC, Utica Pioneers, and the Utica Comets, all can exist with big crowds.
Yeah, it's great.
And then you put a show in at the Stanley Saturday night. You add Garth Brooks out of the Turning Stone. I mean, wow, we're pulling him in here right now.
And Tony Danza coming. Are you excited about that?
Yeah, I think we'll get him on the air coming up here.
That would be really cool. His show, though, is called what? Standards and Stories?
Yeah, it's a crooner type.
It's a comedy show or no?
No, music.
Oh, it's
well, I'm assuming
music.
it's variety, right? Little variety in there. He may tell a joke or two. Is that an RC Cola that you have there?
Yes. It was. I have to tell you, it was on sale. The 6-pack was on sale, so I got a bunch of them.
So that's very interesting when you look at the soda wars. So you had Pepsi, and you had Coca-Cola, and Coke, of course, the leader. And then out of nowhere, RC came in, which started to try to compete as the number 3. It's very interesting to look at all that.
Yes, and it's funny you called it the leader, Leader, not the Litre.
The leader.
Yes.
And then one more, the oldest soda in America. Do you know the oldest soda? It might even be the oldest in the world, to be honest. But in America, let's just say in America.
A&W root beer?
That's one of the old ones. But the oldest is Verner's Ginger Ale.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And you can get that. It's big in Western New York and out and along the Great Lakes and that sort of thing. But it is we like the ginger beer. My wife's a big fan of that.
Well, and don't they call it out in the western part of the state? They call it pop. Yeah,
pop. Mike on football yesterday. Hello, Mike. Good morning.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I wanted to know if you guys saw that play with Lamar Jackson yesterday on Baltimore where he caught his own pass.
Yes.
It's a very rare thing.
Didn't he do something like that last? He did something like that last week too.
Did he? I didn't
did.
see one last week, but I saw that one last night. It was just funny because.
Well, I think the ball. I think the ball got in this case. Last week the ball was deflected, and he ended up catching it, and it went for a yardage. And then yesterday, that was crazy. Yesterday.
Well, yeah, it was deflected at the line.
Same
went
thing
up in the air.
yesterday.
Yeah,
I swear this happened last week also.
It's.
I'll have to look for that. I just see yesterday's on YouTube. Okay?
That was. Listen, and they just couldn't get it done.
I'm shocked.
I know.
I'm shocked that those teams couldn't score.
So I guess we're going to see. See Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl next week.
You're going to
see her get engaged at the Super Bowl. Is what you're going to see.
That's what Maskey thinks. Yeah, that's a big
Put the house
engagement
on it.
coming up. So, all right, Mike, good stuff, and you have a wonderful day, and go Apple.
You too.
Go
You
Apple.
too. Yes, go
Yeah,
Apple.
All right, cool.
Take care.
All right,
Is there a big show today?
No, it's
No.
it's just he's a big Apple guy too. All right, you're getting ready to leave.
I gotta head out. But when do you want me back?
When do you? So we have the whole week to fill yet. I'm told Andrew has Andrew filled any of the week? Maybe Thursday we're
Oh,
filled.
stop! Nothing.
Honest to God. So
I can do it. I'm employee of the month.
Davey is
you
employee
are?
of the
Yeah,
month.
for
It's
December.
about damn time.
For
Yeah.
December.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, real quick, if you need your car battery changed, call Bill.
Yeah, how did that become that became a thing? Yeah. I had more people all upset about that because apparently my wife had a bad battery.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, well, it's 4:00. I don't feel like going to a dealership or going to an auto place. Let's just go quickly. We'll grab a battery and I'll pop it in. But then realizing all the stuff connected into that battery, I've never seen anything like it.
Oh.
And then it's packed in there so tight, getting it out was a disaster. I actually had to go buy an extra tool to get it out. So it turned into what I had told her. This is my famous last words, as my wife says. This is a 10-minute job. Boom, boom. I'll have it in. We'll be in good shape. Meanwhile, 2.5 hours later.
Yeah.
But then everybody's like, you did not unplug the battery and then let the computer system go dead, did you? And I'm like, well,
yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, it's going to reset. Well, they've lost all your settings and all your... there was very little change for her vehicle. So, but it was a pain in the neck to change, I will tell you that.
Oh, well done, though.
Yeah, got it done. A 10-minute, 2.5-hour job. That's what it was. All right. So when are you coming back?
You tell me. Send me a text later today. If you need me tomorrow, I can do it.
Well, let's start with tomorrow.
Let's do tomorrow.
Okay. That'll, Davey, right? We don't have to go scurrying around to try to figure out who's going to fill in for Andrew. Andrew's like his famous last words, I've got you covered. I'll have it all booked for next week. I think he meant you every day. That's probably what it is. All right. Listen, enjoy your day and happy package delivering.
Thank you.
And it's 8:16 at WIBX.
For a limited time at Mattress Express, qualified buyers will get 60 months to pay on any purchase $1,500 or higher with no money down. That includes all brands of mattresses in the store and massage chairs. See store for details.
Oneida County Department of Family and Community Services has immediate openings for program nurses starting at over $59,000. Nurses work a 35-hour work week, conducting patient screenings and home health assessments. And the civil service exam fee is waived for 2024. Apply now at oneidacountyjobs.com.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment. Babbel. Language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com. Start learning a language today at Babbel.com.
A lot of Kanoe's energy started to bounce back.
She has a lot of puppy moments, and she'll be 14 this summer.
What did these dog parents do for their dogs? They switched to Nature's Blend, a premium freeze-dried raw dog food made by Dr. Marty Goldstein, a veterinarian Forbes magazine called the Miracle Worker. It's the easiest way to support your dog's easy digestion, nourished skin, playful energy, and most importantly, their healthy, full life.
I'm so confident your dog will love it. Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee.
Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free full-size bag of Tilly's Treasures dog treats. They're best-selling beef liver dog treats while supplies last. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or shop in over 2,000 stores nationwide. Use the store locator to find the store closest to you. All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply. Studies available upon request.
This station is brought to you by Tallman's Tire, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Ready for a smoother, safer ride? Look to Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your trusted tire experts. Tallman's and their professional staff is there for answers, advice, and quality tires at a great price. And right now, Tallman's, when you purchase 4 Summit tires, you'll get installation, mounting, and balancing absolutely free. Summit tires are great quality and your best value in Central New York. And free installation when you purchase 4 tires is an amazing deal. Don't miss out. This offer ends January 31st, 2024. Visit Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Online at tallmanstire.com.
At MVHS, our team members fell in love with care long ago. Their lives were changed, and their world has been expanding ever since. In respect, compassion, knowledge, and ability. And it's only just begun. Because fueling the future of care starts here at the Wynn Hospital. Local care on a whole new level. The Wynn Hospital. Unwavering commitment and compassion. Learn more at mvhealthsystem.org. This is for you. The first steps taken in the Wynn Hospital are the first steps of a care experience that stands apart. One where compassion can always be found, where teams are trained to serve you well, and where cutting-edge technology is always at the ready. Because here, you not only receive state-of-the-art care, you have a distinctive care experience, one that is all about your comfort in a healing environment. Welcome to the Wynn Hospital.
At Destination Kia of Utica, keep your money in your wallet.
We're giving you more for 24 with no money down leases.
Like a brand new 2023 Kia Sportage Hybrid LX all-wheel drive that gets 44 miles per gallon highway for just $498 per month for 36 months.
And that's with 0 down, 0 due at inception, even sales tax included.
An affordable all-wheel drive SUV that crushes your gas bill. That's more for 24.
Plus, get a 50-inch smart TV included with every new or certified pre-owned Kia.
Now that's kooky.
So go kooky for Kia at Destination Kia of Utica. Puppies and babies not included.
2023 Kia Sportage Hybrid LX all-wheel drive, stock number 23TO128, MSRP $30,790, 36 months, 30,000-mile lease, 20 cents per mile over, 0 due at inception, $0 security deposit, 8.75% security deposit, and $650 acquisition fee included in payment structure, $400 disposition fee, 720 plus FICO score, TV retail value $300, EPA rating, offer expires 1/31/24.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, let's talk, if we can, with Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern. From Halpern, I'll get it right. You hear a lot of people saying, do you really think it's going to be Biden and Trump for the presidential election? Well, it's the end of January. I think we're here. Jared, good morning.
Good morning to you. Yeah, I mean, listen, the Biden campaign is certainly moving in that direction. They basically proclaimed after the New Hampshire primary that the Republican nomination process was over and it was going to be Donald Trump. And so they are very much set up in a general election mode to contrast, obviously, President Biden and former President Trump. And that is part of the kind of pitch that Nikki Haley has been making, right? That she views herself as much more electable. There's some public polling that would suggest that as well. But listen, she, it certainly is going to need to, I think, pull off a bit of an upset in South Carolina and see if that gives her any momentum moving forward. But there has been nothing so far in any data that we have seen that would suggest that Donald Trump is not the prohibitive favorite right now to capture his party's nomination and set up that 2020 rematch that I think a lot of Americans aren't thrilled with. But listen, it's not as if we don't get a say in the process.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And I do think it's what I find interesting is Biden's camp and the Democrats, they don't want Nikki Haley. Because Trump is a race they can win. At least the numbers are showing them that. But she beats Biden handily in a head-to-head matchup. And I saw her on the Sunday programs over the weekend making that case. And, there was a push from the Trump camp for the Republican Party to basically say, Trump's our nominee. No sense in continuing. Let's start talking about November. And she is all against that for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I mean, and former President Trump has indicated that would be a bad idea as well. That was an idea that was put forward by one member of the RNC. It was going to be a resolution that they would have voted on later this week at their winter meetings that would have basically declared Trump the presumptive nominee. It certainly would have been unprecedented. Listen, the RNC is supposed to kind of be neutral in all of this, right? There is a ongoing primary. There is not an incumbent president. And so the general role for the RNC is to kind of just let the primaries play out as they play out. That being said, it is also the job of the RNC and its chairwoman, Ronna McDaniel, to kind of protect the party. And she has indicated that she doesn't see a path forward, and she'd like to at least move forward in a general election. Listen, there's been 2 contests, and as I said, Nikki Haley still has a path that is getting narrower and narrower with every contest. But listen, don't also underestimate a lot of the other stuff happening, right? This is not just going to play out in
it's
ballot boxes. There are 91 felony counts. There are some legal challenges for the former president, and that's another kind of unknown hanging over this Republican process. And,
this was asked, I believe it was on Meet the Press, asked of Nikki Haley yesterday. Basically, she could be there, really be that second person, the second place finisher, and it would make the convention. It certainly would make the likely choice to be her if something happened between now and then that Trump is out.
Listen, that's a lot of hypotheticals, and boy, wouldn't that be a wild convention?
It certainly would be. Yeah,
but. Listen, that's the other thing. Nominating conventions are just that. They are nominating conventions. And all of these delegates that we talk about that are won in these caucuses and primaries are generally only bound to that candidate in the first stage of a convention. So certainly, brokered conventions have happened, not really in the modern era, but they've happened. And anybody can kind of emerge from that process if it kind of gets to that chaotic point where nobody goes in there with a majority or nobody goes in there kind of knowing what the legal outlook is going to be in some of these cases. And so that's another reason I think Nikki Haley doesn't believe that she's under any kind of obligation or pressure here to step aside, at least before Super Tuesday.
Right. All right, it's going to be interesting. Jared Halpern, we appreciate the time. Thank you.
Sure thing.
All right, have a great day. By the way, there is precedence for this. This was done to make a candidate the presumptive nominee. It was done once before, and it was in 2016 when the Republican, midway or 3/4 of the way through the primary process, the Republican Party basically made Donald Trump the presumptive candidate. So it has happened before. I believe it was either 2016 or maybe it was 2020. I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. But interesting stuff. All right, Davey, can I keep moving? All right. I want to go to the phone lines and speak with who's on line 1?
Your mother.
My mother. Mom, good morning.
Good morning.
So there's an interesting story that came out over the weekend because, it is important. We always talk about getting out there and getting your testing done for whatever. And, as you get older, the tests certainly change. You recently had, and I just think that it's amazing what can be accomplished, but it's amazing what can be botched. So you recently had, what was it called, a bone density test?
Yes.
All right. So explain the background of this. You're at a point where you're at an age where it's time to get these tests done, right?
Right. And I really didn't think it was necessary, but I went along with it, went down for the test, waiting for results, and Saturday, I think it was, I received the results of the test, and it said I was expecting maybe a little more osteoporosis, but
basically, you're quite healthy.
Right.
Active. You're quite active as well.
Yeah, true. So I figured, well, maybe a little more bone loss, but the The letter I received said that I had lower than normal bone density, which this could cause fractures or stooped posture.
Still, which, by the way, you have really good posture. I think you walk quickly, you walk well, you stand up straight.
Right.
I mean, especially when you're our height, standing up straight is important, right? Because otherwise
That was another little problem, because it says this can cause severe pain and loss of height. Well, I do not want to lose any more height.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I'll just deal with this. And then I read on a little further, and it says, please counsel on calcium-rich diet, vitamin D intake of 2,000 IU daily, which I've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
I take that. And went on to say she is a smoker and alcohol.
She has an alcohol problem.
Should be avoided.
We must avoid alcohol, and she has to stop smoking.
Smoking. I have never smoked in my life. And I probably on Thanksgiving and Christmas during dinner probably have a glass of wine.
So twice a year.
Now I have a problem with it. I need counseling.
It's recommending that you get counseling for your alcohol consumption.
And smoking.
And your smoking consumption.
Right. So must be, I think I'm drinking a can of Diet Pepsi a day. Well, maybe
there's alcohol in that. So how in the world did they reach such a conclusion? All of it's wrong. Everything they concluded, every bit of this whole thing is incorrect.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a couple of things. Either the testing that was done is just completely inaccurate and bogus, or they switched you up with somebody. There's someone else that is, who knows, that person might be like 5'8", 6 feet tall, getting a rave review about their health.
Right. And they must think, if they got my report, they must think, well,
all is good.
Smoking and drinking didn't hurt me a bit.
It hasn't affected me at all. Now, my guess is they must have switched you with somebody else.
They have, right?
Yeah,
and, I was stunned when I read this, and I said, my smoking and alcohol consumption, what are they talking about? Well, this letter is actually signed by my doctor.
Well, that's a problem.
That's a problem because I go once a year for a well visit, and they always ask, do you smoke or did you smoke? And do you drink alcohol? I always say no. And so she should have known that.
Yeah. Well, so you'll be reaching out to your doctor today to say, obviously, what is this? But you know what's very difficult is if it wasn't so extreme, there's a chance that you might have never caught this, right? I mean, obviously, saying you smoke and you're drinking all the time.
Right.
But, you might have made changes or added medicine or something based on this. It's going to be very interesting to see if you were switched with somebody or if the test skewed incorrectly.
Right.
Yeah.
Something is not right.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll do an update maybe later in the week after you talk to your doctor.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye.
All right. That's Davey. That's my mom.
Yeah, nicest lady.
You've met my mom.
Yes, very nice lady.
Posture's really good. I mean, yes, she's only about 5 feet tall, but her posture's pretty good. She's very active. In fact, with my father, who had such a health scare in the last year, became immobile at one point. It was my mother doing everything, and it just doesn't. Yet, if this wasn't so extreme, somebody might have changed their medicine. They might have done. So you just got to be, man. You got to be on top of everything, or who knows what could happen. All right, hold on tight. It's 8:34. Much to do before we get out of here. Good 26 minutes to go. Stand by. We're coming right back at WIBX.
This station is brought to you by Tallman's Tire, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Why get an updated COVID vaccine? If you're 65 or older, a COVID vaccine can keep you out of the hospital. And if you have heart disease, a COVID vaccine can help you stay healthy. With COPD or other lung diseases, getting a COVID vaccine can keep you off a ventilator. Anyone can get severely ill from COVID. But some people are more at risk. Know your risk and make sure you're up to date on your COVID vaccine. A message from the New York State Health Department.
You've heard the buzz about IT jobs and cybersecurity and AI, right? Why not prepare for a career in these fields and take advantage of the high demand? You could enjoy a more rewarding and recession-resistant lifestyle. Train in just a few short months at My Computer Career. Are you a veteran, active duty military, or already in IT? Skill up for positions employers need to fill. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. That's mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Oneida County Department of Family and Community Services has immediate openings for program nurses, starting at over $59,000. Nurses work a 35-hour work week, conducting patient screenings and home health assessments. And the civil service exam fee is waived for 2024. Apply today at OneidaCountyJobs.com.
Looking for top-notch personal protection? The Smith & Wesson Equalizer is here to level the playing field. Easy to rack slide, easy to control ergonomic grip. It's designed for you. With a 10, 13, and 15-round magazine included, size up for better control or size down for easier concealment. Don't miss out on the opportunity to upgrade your safety. Visit your local dealer now. To learn more about the Equalizer, visit smith-wesson.com. Smith & Wesson, empowering Americans. All capacity sizes may not be available in your jurisdiction. Be sure to check your local laws and regulations.
A lot of Kanoi's energy started to bounce back.
She has a lot of puppy moments, and she'll be 14 this summer.
What did these dog parents do for their dogs? They switched to Nature's Blend, a premium freeze-dried raw dog food made by Dr. Marty Goldstein, a veterinarian Forbes magazine called the Miracle Worker. It's the easiest way to support your dog's easy digestion, nourished skin, playful energy, and most importantly, their healthy, full life.
I'm so confident your dog will love it. Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee.
Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free full-size bag of Tilly's Treasures dog treats. They're best-selling beef liver dog treats while supplies last. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or shop in over 2,000 stores nationwide. Use the store locator to find the store closest to you. All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply. Studies available upon request.
Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal. Income may be subject to state, local, or alternative minimum tax. Did you know that municipal bonds are a way for investors to support civil projects while earning federally tax-free income? The Erie Canal, which led to the expansion of the United States into the Midwest in the 1800s, was financed with municipal bonds. Are you looking to bridge the gap between the income of your working years and the income needed in retirement? Municipal bonds might provide the solution you're looking for. Hanyon & Walsh is a leading specialist in tax-free municipal bonds and has provided investors with quality service and personal attention since 1990. Call now to receive their informative bond guide absolutely free. Dial 1-800-761-9761 to learn how to earn retirement income while keeping your taxes at bay. Just dial 1-800-761-9761 for a copy of their informative bond guide for free. No cost, no obligation. 1-800-761-9761. Hanyon & Walsh Inc., member of FINRA and SIPC.
Hey, right now, save on a Mazda certified pre-owned vehicle at Steep Pony Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Ricky Z says, come in, they only select the best of the best late model Mazda vehicles for you to choose from. They offer award-winning Mazda certified pre-owned vehicles with a 160-point inspection and the 7-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. And if you need a lower price or a lower payment, Rick says, let's make your deal on a Mazda certified pre-owned vehicle and see why their customers always do say it's always easy to do business at Steep Pawnee Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
You've put off getting a new bed. You really want a new bed. Let's be honest, you probably need a new bed. Kevin Fear from Mattress Express, and I have the answer for you for the new year. Any purchase in the store, $1,500 or more, qualify and sign up and get up to 60 months to pay with no money down. Don't give us a nickel. You heard me right, up to 60 months to pay, no money down. That includes our full lineup of massage chairs. And, yes, it includes Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Purple, Puffy, the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort, Posh and Lavish, and more. You can get pre-qualified at mattressexpressny.com. Look for the 15-second Express Credit app. Stop into any store. No appointment necessary. We'd be happy to qualify you in store. And you can call 1-800-NEW-BEDS. See store for details.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel, évidemment. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Start learning a language today at Babbel.com.
Hey, River Hills Properties is the #1 real estate agency in all of Central New York. For independent agencies, #2 if you include the big chains. And it's just because of the things that they do to help people when selling their home. All the extra services, taking the stress level way on down by providing the services that other agencies don't do. Like your listing agent, every time the house is shown, your listing agent is there, making sure you're putting the best foot forward, making sure the house is ready to be shown. Their lights are on. You're there if people ask questions, and to keep an eye on the property for the seller, which is also very important. And the book, 4,200 pages. It's the manual for the home. Every improvement that's ever been made, all the warranty issue information, all put into one book. It's River Hills Properties. They have offices in Barneville, Little Falls, and Utica. Online, it's riverhillspropertiesllc.com. Call 315-896-1009. Remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties.
Hello, everyone in Central New York. This is Dave Letterman, your old TV pal. Remember me? I'm supposed to say something witty and funny here about Bill Keeler, but I've got nothing. Ever see a picture of this guy? That's a joke in itself. Anyhow, here's Keeler on WIBX.
Well, good morning. Hey, you think we had a busy weekend this past weekend? You had Leon Etienne at the Stanley. You had the Comets. You had the Pioneers. You had Utica City FC. I believe the women were playing in hockey. And you had this huge event at the Turning Stone that included Garth Brooks and Steve Wynn. It was Steve Wynn's birthday. Huge. Now you looked at this weekend. What's going on, Davey, this weekend?
You got the Comets home on
Comets
Friday
are home
and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday. You have the home show going on next door at the Nexus Center. You have Utica City FC playing in over the weekend. You have the wing event, that wing competition, which we'll be a part of. You have there might be one other thing. That's a lot of stuff going on at once, and it's all going on this weekend. So busy weekends. Is that you, Scott?
Yes, it is.
All
Hey,
right.
Billy. How you doing?
Stand by. We're going to get to you in just a second, so don't you go anywhere. So you have all of these things going on this weekend. We just have busy weekend after busy weekend. And the women's hockey just around the corner coming to Utica. they're expecting like thousands of people as spectators to come to this event.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
And these are Olympic teams that are going to be playing in Utica. I mean, this is going to be something really, really special. All right, some quick news items that we haven't gotten into yet. And, Scott, I'm coming to you in a second. Just give me like 5 minutes, so hang with me. New York City woman charged with concealing what? Do you know what it was?
Weapons.
A corpse, a person in her apartment, refrigerator. Heather Steins, 45 years old, charged on Wednesday, 2 days after officers visited her Brooklyn apartment for a wellness check. They found multiple black bags in the refrigerator and freezer. Turns out it was her ex. There was a head. There were other body parts. She's been arrested. They're trying to figure it out. That's pretty weird. What else? Oh, I don't know if you saw the Justice Department came up with their final report on former Governor Andrew Cuomo. Now,
I saw this.
If you've been following along, Cuomo's been saying he kind of took a page out of the Trump playbook. This was basically a witch hunt. This was political. This was the Attorney General in New York, Letitia James, coming after me politically, trying to destroy my career, and maybe he'll run again, is what really we've been getting out of Cuomo. Turns out the Justice Department says, wait a minute, Cuomo sexually harassed, according to the report, more than a dozen state employees, according to a settlement announced Friday that confirmed allegations from the damaging misconduct probe that led to his resignation, and it kind of falls in line with exactly what the Attorney General said that he had done. The settlement between New York and the Justice Department revolves the federal agency's sexual harassment investigation of Cuomo, outlines additional steps the state will have to take in order to prevent something like this from happening again. They say Cuomo subjected at least 13 state employees to a sexually hostile work environment. It said Cuomo staffers, instead of supporting the employees, mainly women, they failed to adequately report the allegations and retaliated against 4 women who raised complaints. The agency did not release a full report detailing the investigation, but did publish the rest in its findings. The settlement undercut Cuomo's longstanding criticism of the probe by the Attorney General, saying that this was a political attack. The Justice Department says no, and instead of helping these women, Cuomo aides, including women, attacked them and covered up the whole thing. So I thought that was pretty darn interesting. What else do I have here? Chiefs and 49ers. We'll talk with Scott coming up in a second. Going to the Super Bowl.
The Chiefs are still the Chiefs, and believe it, you gotta fight for your right to party!
And there it is. The 49ers are going to the Super Bowl.
You know who that was, by the way? That was Kelsey. He was partying hard. A diehard Swiftie fan broke a world record by naming 34 Taylor Swift songs in 60 seconds. Apparently, that's a record. It shows how wide her appeal is because the guy lives in Pakistan, and he was able to pull this off. Here we go.
Start staring at the city. I wish I was from both of us.
All right, he's naming off the songs. I can't understand it. Some TikToker accidentally dropped her huge diamond ring on a pan full of Brussels sprouts and baked it without knowing it. Here's her mom's reaction to the whole thing.
Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I baked my freaking diamond ring. Mom, how do I get the brown off? Can you pull it off? I literally baked my freaking diamond ring. It's not a prank. It's not a prank. I don't know how I did that. Oh my God, it's brown.
It's amazing how the camera was right there to tape that moment. You know, half the stuff is done just to get it on TikTok.
Yeah.
What else do I have quickly? Richard Marx deals with a woman in the audience yelling something out during one of his acoustic classics. He waits until the song and then lets her have it. The song is Angelina. No word on the woman and why she was yelling, but this is how Richard Marx dealt with that situation.
I'm
I'm genuinely curious who raised you to think that anything you could yell out was more important than what we were doing. Learn some manners, lady.
I never knew that word was actually in the vocabulary of Richard Marx.
Yeah, he's doing an acoustics set with Rick Springfield. They were at the Lago Resort and Casino like 2 weeks ago.
Okay. I'm not sure where that show was, but it did not go well. Yesterday, in the Bay Area, the band Journey, performed at halftime of the Lions 49ers game. They did play Don't Stop Believin', but instead of singing Growing Up in South Detroit, they changed it up. Here's how they did it. Instead, they said San Francisco. Whatever. And that is that kid from South America that does all the singing.
Yeah, he's good.
In the high parts, which what's his name?
Steve Perry.
Steve Perry is no longer involved in. And do I have one more? I guess I do. I'm going to go to Scott in Kirkville, standing by right now. Scott, good morning.
Good morning. The person that was hiding everything in the refrigerator wasn't X the Twitter, it was X the X.
Listen, that woman cut her ex's body up. Yeah, X the X, EX.
Yeah.
Cut the body up and then if she just would have remained normal, no one would have caught it. But she became kind of recluse, and neighbors were wondering if she was okay. And so they reported to police, and then police looked in the fridge, which is where they saw all of the black bags. Not good.
Quickly, I saw Johnny, Mellencamp, Johnny Cougar up at Seneca Niagara. In the middle of the song, someone took a picture of him. In the middle of the song, he literally stopped and got pretty belligerent and was actually threatened to walk off stage
because somebody took a picture.
He doesn't even wait for the end of the song. I thought that was kind of unique.
So, so there must have been something there that said no photos and no videos.
It did say that, yeah.
And then somebody took a picture. But is it worth stopping the whole show over?
Well, with that said, he was also a half hour late, which, in Seneca terms, that means money. Usually, one thing about casinos, they want you to start on time, and it's an hour and a half, and they want you back on the gaming floor.
You're absolutely right. You're right.
I never saw that happen before.
Yeah, wow.
Good.
I will tell you that I saw him perform at the Stanley. And I was in a sneaky way, I was doing a little videotaping. And security came right up, and they were very firm to say, we're told, this was Mellencamp, we are told that if we catch anybody, we got to kick you out. So don't do that again.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, stop in the middle of the song, though.
Yeah. He must have a real thing about that. All right. Okay.
So you happy with Detroit and San Francisco and the 49ers?
I, of course, am not. I am so angry that Kansas City is back in.
Yeah. That was a weird game. The Kansas City's moving the ball at will. They kind of shut it down, but this is where Lamar Jackson, I was wondering if he kept him in the pocket, how well he's going to do at the end. And then it helped out. I was getting a little nervous, but they finally put Beckham in the game. I don't know what was wrong for the first three quarters.
Yeah.
And then he ends up catching 3 passes and goes over his prop bet, so that helped us out a lot. But didn't understand that. You bring a guy in for $10 million, and you're basically sitting for 3 quarters of your championship game. Got no idea what was going on there.
Yeah, and Kelsey looked really good too.
Oh yeah. Well, you wonder how much that's basically improvisation, okay? Because it looks like he finds a spot, and you notice they played zone in the first half and man-to-man in the second half, but he was finding the spot in the zone, and Mahomes was buying time like that one. He must have had 10 or 15 seconds to throw, and he just happened to throw it, and he made a great catch. But it was interesting. Now, the Detroit game, we've talked about this all year, and finally imploded. There's times to go for it and times not to go for it. And did not understand. Now, I know analytics, but analytics does not. One thing doesn't show is momentum and hot streaks and stuff.
Yep.
And that's one thing analytics will never analyze. And when you have a shot to go up 3 scores and you're getting, the momentum's with you, and you go 4th and 2, I said it's going to come back to haunt him. And
well, I got to say,
tie it up and he goes for 4th down.
What is? I mean, we are seeing a major change in strategy in the NFL,
it is.
And it's this. 4th down, well into your own territory. I believe it was Baltimore that went for it at their own 30-yard line yesterday in the first half. So
and also when they're down 10.
Yeah.
Now the ironic part is, Bill, is Kansas City got the momentum, and they just got the fumble, and 4th and a foot, and they run the ball up the middle. I'm sitting there going, they haven't run the ball up the middle the whole game.
Yeah.
All the 4th down plays have been passes. This is the big one. You're going to run, roll up Mahomes, and you're going to run it or hit a guy. And all of a sudden the momentum was dead, and, basically kept Baltimore in the game. It's just sometimes you just wonder about play calling. And it was interesting. Now, from a prop bet standpoint, we did well in the San Francisco props. Both running backs from Detroit went over their props. And McCafferty, which at that time didn't know B. Will Samuels was playing, he went over his 4 and he pushed on his 42, so you didn't win or lose on his 42 yards.
Yep.
And in the 49ers game, he hit both Beckhams, and then we because of the knees at the end of the game, we lost the rushing part of Mahomes because that counts as a yard and a half.
Yeah.
And,
well,
but
I mean,
but basically, if you took Mahomes' prop bets, which we all did, attempts and passing and completions, you lost the yardage by a yard. Some people actually got it because it actually went down to 241.
Okay.
And so you pushed on that.
This will be an interesting Super Bowl. Of course, I just wanted your quick take before we let you go here on the Pro Bowl, which will be this weekend.
Oh,
and it just seems like they're doing everything
they still call that the Pro Bowl?
From cornhole, it's tag, it's I mean flag football, and I mean it's just nuts.
They started last year, and it was the best of 3 too. By the way, I don't know what it was. They had 3 games going on. Personally, I think they should just take it to the beach. I think it'd be more fun.
Right.
The beach volleyball.
Yeah.
They should have got rid of it a long time ago. They went to Hawaii. They actually got people to go there because they brought their family and stuff.
Yeah.
But, it's not really. I mean, you can't be baseball and basketball because some people can really get hurt.
Right.
If you play it seriously.
All right. Last question, Davey.
So real quick on Syracuse, I watched the Arizona State-Oregon game like you told me to, and Arizona State won. So Oregon lost. So does that move up Syracuse into the prop?
It should help the quad one because they lost Arizona, but they actually lost to Oregon State.
Okay.
Don't hold that microphone.
Yeah. So that should help them out there big time.
Okay.
Because they got to get a quad one win. So just keep room for Oregon to keep winning.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk later in the week to talk more about these options coming up here.
Thanks,
Scott.
guys.
Thank you, man.
You, Scott.
Have a great week. Daylight Donuts, the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program, and it's everything from coffee and espresso, lattes, iced coffee, breakfast sandwiches, or bagels, and donuts made fresh every single morning right there at Daylight in New Hartford, and the drive-thru is lightning fast. It's Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. And portions of the program brought to you by the Falcon Clinic. If you're in need of a new family physician, a new family doctor, call the Falcon Clinic today, located in Washington Mills. It's the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic. And while others are using analytics, the statistics, et cetera, the Falcon Clinic is using good old-fashioned, you use a family doctor who tests and looks in and digs in based on your physician's experience. That is the Falcon Clinic approach. Now, modern technologies, modern medicine, all a part of what they do, but you don't lose that personal touch. That's the Falcon Clinic. Call them today at 315-507-4751, the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. All right, Andrew is off all this week, so we'll have guest hosts coming in as the week goes on. Manaski will be back in studio tomorrow morning, so we certainly appreciate that. We have news coming up next, and then, of course, Kilmeade after that here on this Monday morning. Relatively cloudy through the day. The full forecast coming up top of the hour at WIBX.
Ready for a smoother, safer ride? Look to Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your trusted tire experts. Tallman's and their professional staff is there for answers. Advice and quality tires at a great price. And right now, Tallman's, when you purchase 4 Summit tires, you'll get installation, mounting, and balancing absolutely free. Summit tires are great quality and your best value in Central New York. And free installation when you purchase 4 tires is an amazing deal. Don't miss out. This offer ends January 31st, 2024. Visit Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Roman Herkimer. Online at tallmanstire.com.
Looking for top-notch personal protection? The Smith & Wesson Equalizer is here to level the playing field. Easy to rack slide, easy to control ergonomic grip. It's designed for you. With a 10, 13, and 15-round magazine included, size up for better control or size down for easier concealment. Don't miss out on the opportunity to upgrade your safety. Visit your local dealer now. To learn more about the Equalizer, visit smith-wesson.com. Smith & Wesson, empowering Americans. All capacity sizes may not be available in your jurisdiction. Be sure to check your local laws and regulations.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica, Rome, W295DI Utica, Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
We lost 3 brave souls, and we shall respond. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's President Biden's reaction to the deadly attack Iran-backed militants staged on a U.S. base in Jordan that killed 3 American troops.
The U.S. says it will respond, but we are awaiting more specifics on what a response is going to look like. Defense officials are also saying this morning it's possible that the number of injured Americans may even go up. Right now it's at 34, but service members may continue to seek treatment.
Fox's Mark Meredith at the Pentagon.
Iran is denying any responsibility for the attack, but this is certainly not the first time the Iranians have claimed innocence, as militant groups have been continuing to target U.S. forces serving throughout the Middle East, even since just mid-October. More than 150 attacks carried out in places like Iraq and in Syria.
Now, the U.S. has retaliated several times, but Republican Senator Dan Sullivan just told Fox.
The big issue is we got to reestablish deterrence with regard to Iran.
Some GOP lawmakers want the U.S. to target Iran directly. 10 countries now join the U.S. suspending funding for the UN's Palestinian refugee